Somebody pop all day, hold up. Somebody on their way, hold up. I would've grown all day, hold up. Somebody can't relate,
Black
hold up.
Panther.
Stay down with no faking.
Wait, did I just see they're gonna kill Jane Foster in the beginning of the movie? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the WiseguyGSE podcast. I am here with my co-host. I'm sorry, I had to do that. I'm here.
No, you didn't. You didn't have to do it.
It's fine. It's fine. They're not gonna kill her in the first 10 minutes because what's gonna be the dramatic apex in the middle to cause Thor to
come to his senses.
Come to the senses. Like, I can't believe I liked her. Anyway, this is the WiseGuy cast, and I'm here with CardiacSumo and YoruStrix, and we're going to talk about a bunch of geek stuff for you guys. YoruStrix, how are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Tired because they released too much information, but good.
Yes, they did. And how are you, Mr. Sumo?
How about fuck off? I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah, I was going to say something else, but I'm just going to save that for later. All right. So, just to let you guys know, this podcast is just going to be all about movies, sports, gaming, entertainment, anything. We're not going to talk sports because these two guys aren't sports ball people like I am.
I read the decision of the Pacquiao fight last night.
Well, see, there you go. And you, sir, Cardiac?
I've shot a basketball before.
So, yeah, that is the breadth of this.
Come on. Okay.
But occasionally sports will end. I mean, we could talk sports in a political way as Dan Levitard of ESPN just blasted the hell out of his company for what they did to Jamel Hill months ago. So, I mean, you can go there, but I'm going to let that go because I'm the only one who cares about sports.
I just don't think they're as culturally relevant as they once were.
I disagree, but I think it's the angle that people look at. I think, socially speaking, the athletes are.
Yes.
I don't know about the games itself, but the personalities within sports,
I will agree,
are definitely relevant.
Shout out to all the people using their platform for positivity and trying to make a better world. And I'm looking at the rest of y'all.
Yeah. So, all right, let's just go ahead and dive right in. San Diego Comic-Con was just this past weekend, and it was kind of boring leading up until yesterday. Would you agree?
I wasn't following.
There wasn't a huge announcement. There wasn't anything that was like, oh my god, that's amazing. It was kind of like, when's Marvel getting on the stage?
I think that's pretty much what everybody was. I think that's why DC didn't go. Warner Brothers, as a company, did not do a panel at San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of people were wondering why, and they had made mention that part of it was that there wasn't really something that they felt like they needed to do a whole panel for that was coming out. They don't think that it was going to help impact their ticket sales, which I think is a stupid reason to do that. It's like, oh, well, it's not going to make me money. So, but it's like, you need to get your stuff out there if you want to have the opportunity to make money. So,
But do they have stuff to get out there?
Season 4 of Young Justice.
Yeah, you had that.
Harley Quinn. It was a lot of small stuff. They announced stuff on Twitter, and I saw 3 tweets about it, and then it was done. Harley Quinn TV show Titans is getting another season.
And Brandon Roth coming back to play the role of Superman on Crisis of Infinite Earth on the CW universe. It was stuff like that. That was really small. And the funny thing is, they could have hyped up the Joker movie. That's something I would have liked to have heard more about because we really haven't heard that much about that movie, have we?
I don't need to hear anymore.
I think that's because, I don't know, I think it was maybe an article or somebody put out that it's not just rooted in the comics. They're not just yes, we're pulling directly from the comics for everything that's happening in the movie. There's a lot of creative license, and I think they're nervous about scaring more comic book fans as DC because people already think that they're not good.
But
in a very nice way.
we already knew from the trailer that it wasn't fully pulled from the comics. Like his relationship with his mom, where has that ever come from in the comics?
Look,
I thought they had established that even before we got that trailer that this was going to be like an alternate,
Yeah.
because they were supposed to come out with a Jared Leto movie that was supposed to be quote unquote canon.
People don't notice a lot of stuff, and so I feel like DC, I think, has really started feeling the brunt of kind of the perception that, hey, what you make is bad. Sit down and stop talking. Let Marvel do whatever. And DC's just kind of focused on, all right, we'll just put out good stuff, and then you'll come look at us again.
I guess, but I mean, you had your comics. You could have talked about that. You could have brought Tom King out. People like him. I mean, they like to hate him, but he would have drew attention. You could have done so much as a company.
That's actually true. Because Marvel had a whole separate panel on like their like the future of their comics.
Yeah,
like this year, which is to me like you could at least talk a little bit about what if I'm a comic book fan at DC, where am I supposed to be chasing information about the comics beyond just your press releases? Usually these big events end up, going back to your original point, Blak, pulling in like a lot of just eyes, because if I'm looking at San Diego Comic-Con and something interesting for Warner Brothers comes up, cool, that goes on my checklist. But if they don't really have a presence, you don't even have that chance.
Yeah, I think it works differently for like with video games. I don't think the big press conference works that well anymore, because everybody utilizes so many different methods, especially with streaming, doing their own presentation and events. But you don't really get that with movies and comic books. They don't connect as big unless they're at these tentpole events. Sure, we've all followed stuff on Twitter and stuff like that, and we see it, but the general mass public don't key in on it like that. And this is where you get that like big wave of interest from this like huge news dump that these shows provide. So
I would try to direct more of their fans toward their comics. I mean, that is something I assume they wish to make some kind of profit off of. I still think a lot of people don't take the idea of reading a comic very seriously, but which is a shame. But I definitely see it. Like, I went to a dentist's office a couple months ago, and there was like a Captain America issue sitting there. And I remember feeling awkward reading it. Like, people were like, what is he doing reading a comic book as an adult? And it's like,
I mean, but a lot of adults still read it. I mean, it's a popular medium.
I think it's like anime. Like, if you don't watch it, you just have a certain false idea of what it is. It's just like, oh, this immature people watching cartoons. These are for kids. And it's like, not the anime I've seen, motherfucker. I'm scared of these as an adult. Some of these are rough. But if you're not into that world, then you just see like a surface interpretation of it. I think it comes off sillier.
But more to the point, Comic-Cons are for people who are into that shit.
Fair.
Of course they're gonna fucking want to see it.
I would give you that for every other Comic-Con that exists. San Diego Comic-Con, I feel like, is unique in that, like, it has become, at least thinking back to like when I was a kid and growing up, it is over these like last decade almost become just like a geeky nerd culture like convention. Kind of like how some of these conventions are not just like, oh, E3 was always about the games, and now it's gaming adjacent stuff is also very relevant now. I feel like you have TV shows not just based in comics, you have movies, you have comics, you have so many different mediums that now it's almost like San Diego Comic-Con is different. It doesn't feel like all the rest of the Comic-Cons being focused just on comics.
True, it's more of an entertainment event, like for all levels of entertainment.
I think that's what I was feeding a bit into too, is that some of these more nerd culture conventions feel like they're opening up more to just the general public, like just as a way to get movies and shit out there. Because E3 is a good example. I've definitely seen things there that I don't think I would have seen like 10 years prior. It just seems like they're trying to open up more to the general world, and like, I don't want to say drag them in so much as open themselves up to kind of please everyone else.
It's weird, right? Because I was going to ask, do you think that has just as much to do with geek culture becoming more and more mainstream? Is the convention reflecting the more mainstream market, or is the market kind of feeding into whatever the industry itself is trying to push out there, like you're saying?
I think it's a combination. I think even anime too is slowly becoming more and more mainstream, but I think that those groups are also trying to open themselves up more to push themselves more into the mainstream. I think that's why we see like those last couple Dragon Ball Z movies hitting American theaters like that. I think My Hero Academia might have done it too, if I'm remembering correctly.
My Hero Academia had something more and more. Like the West is full on in a nerdy renaissance. I don't know how to phrase it. Like we're in a world where you go into a mall and next to like a designer like store, you can look at Hot Topic and you'll see anime and Marvel merchandise. And people are like, yeah, I wanna be Jane Foster Thor.
I'm seeing it more on people's clothes too. Like I just walked a little earlier, I went to Walmart and this big black dude was wearing this My Hero Academia shirt. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like you guys wouldn't have worn this when I was a kid. No way.
Not in public, no.
It's becoming way more common and like with more and more obscure animes. Like I ran into somebody wearing a what is it called? That show Lelouch. Whatever anime.
Code Geass.
Yeah. Somebody wearing like a Code Geass shirt, and I was like, what the fuck? That's not even Naruto or Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, that's an age thing. I think our age group was the age group to grow up on that. Really grow up. Like millennials, for lack of a better term, are now the primary, I don't know, like the group that is freely spending our money and really pushing stuff like entertainment.
Sure, so I think somewhat to Black's point, I don't think they were as comfortable doing it even when they were younger. Like it's not like the shirts didn't exist. It's just a lot of us were too maybe embarrassed of the fandom to really celebrate it in public like that.
Right.
Because I'm seeing even just like Marvel comic shirts, I'm seeing so fucking many of them. And not even just like Captain American shit, but like increasingly obscure characters.
100%. 100%. Like, I'm not going to disagree with that. All I know is I'm happy about it. Because next thing you know, if you walk into the theaters, and this will make you happy, Cardiac, somebody will be wearing a Squirrel Girl tail with the ears. So happy to be going to see the news movie. And you just got, do you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy.
I think the general public's getting a little more antsy, though, because I walked into work, I was wearing like a Spider-Man shirt, and somebody was like, you should wear more like obscure shirts so that we can like learn more about the characters. And I'm like, how about you just go read it? What the fuck? Like, I'm not like a Marvel fucking billboard.
But that's funny because that happens a lot too. You now are getting more like comic fans, nerd shit fans wanting to know about nerd shit a lot. I get questioned at work. Like people will go see a movie or before a movie come out, they be like, okay, Mike, break down to me who this is and why, they do this and that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not here to be your fucking like Wikipedia page. What the hell is going on here? But it's cool though, because they're generally interested in knowing this stuff. Especially like back when I was young, as soon as they see that, they're ready to beat your ass or like clown the fuck out of you. Like,
and I really do put a lot of that on Marvel. I just feel like Marvel made good movies that were also superhero movies that in turn kind of fueled what was already starting to be a thing. Because now, like, I think back to how full the theaters were for Endgame and like Spider-Man Far From Home. Do you think that would have been even going to back to what we were already calling back to? Like, would that have been a thing a decade and a half ago? Like the early to mid 2000s? Would the theaters have been that full for even like a Captain America movie like that?
I feel like they boosted the very movie theater market itself. Like people are just way more excited to go to movies, generally speaking, because there's with Marvel's perhaps oversaturation increasingly, there's just so many good movies to go and watch now. Whereas before you had like one or two summer blockbusters that were like super action packed and you might have like a rom-com or something throughout the year that people would go to, but they weren't like flooding the movie theaters to see this shit like they are now. Like it's because like every movie Marvel puts out, even if it's not Endgame level, it's gonna be at least like a B plus or something like that. It's gonna be solid.
No, what they've done is they've created appointment movie going, whereas there used to be the term appointment TV, where it's like every week you had to watch the episode of show blank because everybody did that. Now everybody looks at Marvel's calendar and be like, okay, I'm going to movies in May, I'm going in July, I'm going in November, I'm going to go next February. It's like it's a thing now to go to these religiously, whereas there really wasn't that in movies before this, as far as I can remember.
And even beyond it, like it doesn't extend to other movies. Even like it's not a good movie, but even like Dark Phoenix, tried, but like it did. Look at Captain Marvel versus Dark Phoenix. Yes, they have a history of being bad movies, but even still, to the average person that doesn't really know, they're like, "Oh, it's another superhero movie. Oh, it's the X-Men. I remember the X-Men." And yet it fell completely flat. It completely missed the mark. But then the Captain Marvels, the Endgames, the even the Spider-Man Far From Home, they've all done really well for themselves, easily too.
By the way, I just looked it up today. Good fucking Christ, does Marvel make money? So did you know there was a stipulation with Far From Home that if it doesn't make $1 billion, Sony may get the rights back?
Oh, okay.
Normally I would be surprised, but at this point with Marvel, I'm kind of like, that's like an easy bet on Marvel's part.
And I figured Sony probably did that because they figured that it's not going to do it, and we'll eventually get it back, and we'll be able to put him in with Venom, all of that. Okay, so as of today, at the end of the day, it'll be 21 days, I believe. That Spider-Man's been out, or maybe it's just 20 days. I forget what it is. You know how much money is made in 20 days?
How much?
$5.
$890 million. The movie hasn't been out for 3 weeks, and it's almost at $1 billion.
And I do want to clarify, like, they moved the showing up of that movie by like 3 days. Like, the earliest showing around me was at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, the day it came out. That says something. First of all, go watch movies at 10 a.m. It's a good decision. But ignoring that, like, it was also it was just a good movie. And I feel like it was one of the more... Do you think that if this had come out any more spaced out, if this came out, say, August or September, do you think it has the same impact as coming out as close to Endgame as it did?
I personally think it would make more money because it would give people a lot more time to anticipate it.
Maybe. I feel like some of that anticipation could fizzle out a bit. Maybe it was me. Like I remember not being very interested in it until like a week or so before when I finally started like looking at some of the trailers and shit. Like I feel that people wanted to know very quickly what was after Endgame, so it coming out so soon helped in a way. But I can definitely see the anticipation building effect that might have been. I don't know. I guess it works either way. I think there's different factors that would prompt people.
Well, I think they would have marketed a lot more like intentionally as we got that one trailer where he came out and said, yeah, we're spoilers because this is going to happen immediately after. But I think they would have built it even more.
And that dropped a week after Endgame, right? Or 2 weeks. Because it was that Monday.
2 or 3 weeks after Endgame.
It was that Monday when the spoiler or whatever lifted.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, like spoiler lifting. And literally they're like, okay, so big spoiler for Endgame. All right, Spider-Man Far From Home. And going to what Cardiac said, I feel like they then got quiet again. Because it wasn't until right before it came out that I was like I was excited for it to find out what comes next, but it was never like, Here's Spider-Man, here's Spider-Man, here's Spider-Man. Having seen the movie, I think it makes a little bit more sense. As good as the movie is, I think it is down like a lower note, lower impact than something like Endgame, but it was just as important and a good way to end it off. The thing is, I think we're going to be happy for times like that, because going over the next 2 years, we're not going to have very much downtime between anything.
Nah,
I think we needed the down. Like, it's just proper storytelling. Like, once you build us up to the climax, you need like a downturn a little bit. Like, you need to bring the emotion level down a little. It's like, I don't know. Like, Black and I are wrestling fans. It's like once you've seen like a super hot match, like smart wrestlers in the next match will slow down the pace before they try to build you back up again, rather than just trying to maintain that high pace all the way throughout the show.
Right.
But before we go too much further, I think, were you the one that told me this, Black, that Endgame surpassed Avatar finally?
Yes.
Yes, it is officially the highest grossing movie of all time.
It only took 2 releases.
Not even 2, because when did the second release happen?
It literally is like 45. It's like 45 seconds extra footage too. But that to me is the thing. Is like, we know why you did it. I'm happy that it got it, but come on.
No. It's all fair game, because a lot of people don't know this. Reason why Titanic got to where it got, for one, was because it was released like 4 or 5 times. Same thing with Avatar. Avatar was released about 3 or 4 times in the course of like a year and a half to the theater, because it was re-released to the movie. I remember it was re-released to the movies when the fucking Blu-ray came out. So
I'm not saying it's not fair.
They milked the shit out of it. And again, Marvel only, like, this re-release came out.
You're wrong to make it right.
So maybe, wasn't it 2 weeks ago or something like that? Maybe 3 weeks to re-release.
I don't know.
So it's not like it took them that long.
The re-release was right before Spider-Man, or the week before Spider-Man, I think.
Yeah. So a month. It didn't take them long to fucking do that.
I just wanted more footage if you're gonna re-release it, but that's just me being me.
And they didn't even give you real footage. They're like, yeah, we just gonna like show you
extended scene by
some behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, it's okay. By the way, Marvel's live right now.
Oh god.
I swear they really like just want to like
Marvel just drop all the trailers just right now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have this like going on in the background to see. I'm not gonna turn on the volume because
there's a reason I bring up the record breaking, and I think it's to tie into the cultural shift that we were talking about a bit earlier. I think that in itself shows it, because I remember like before they finally broke the record, like a few weeks ago, I was talking to Black and I was like, they're gonna break this record. I'm gonna be like, see you fucking assholes who are always making fun of comics growing up. Look who's winning now.
But no, to be fair, look at the top 10 all-time grossing movies, and I swear, other than Avatar, Titanic, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 other movies. They're all fucking like Marvel comic book movies.
Yeah, the nerds are winning.
Yeah, it is.
Eventually, somebody will actually be able to crack the code to proper anime live remakes, and then it'll be all over.
That would be wow. Can you imagine a future where the top 10 in all-time grossing films is just nothing but nerd shit?
Anime.
But no, it's just like anime, comic books. Hell, what if somebody figures out how to make a good video game movie? Jesus Christ! Like, it's just gonna get ridiculous.
That's the thing. Like, once Marvel cracked the formula, they had the formula, so they just can keep shitting them out all over again. Once anime does it, there's a ton of fucking anime that could be done properly, I guess. I'm sure people are going to be like, there's plenty of anime remakes. No, they don't. They don't exist. No, they don't.
What do you
we
mean?
Can ignore those.
The good ones are actually in Japan.
Yeah.
Anything that's come to the West, we don't talk about. Pretend they don't exist. It's okay.
That's why when anybody talks about any anime live adaptation, I'm like, no, we should not get excited about this.
They're good comedy movies.
Can be if they're comedy focused.
You don't like Goku and Aang? You don't want them rolling through?
Somebody made fun of the Avatar: The Last Airbender live thing, and I almost lost my shit at work. I'm like, don't do this. Don't fuck with me. I'll kill you.
His name is Aang.
I think they should try that again, by the way.
Yeah, 100%. I legitimately am now at the point, and if I were going to say anything, Spider-Man. Just keep trying till it works.
This is true. Well, to be fair, comic book Marvel, period. Because think about some of the stuff that they put out before.
Incredible Hulk, he stopped trying. Yeah. Some of y'all can just be Incredible Hulk. Just go sit off and only show up for the big movies. That's fine. Yeah, please get good directors. That's all that know what makes anime, manga, comics good, though. That's the one caveat. You can't just get Steven Spielberg because he's Steven fucking Spielberg and be like, yeah, make this. It'll be good. It's like, don't just do that. No.
This is very true. Very true.
Makes me think of the John Constantine thing with Keanu Reeves.
Yo, that movie's dope. Let me stop. I can't even.
I know. I saw the reason I say this because I saw it come up on Facebook the other day, and I was like, they made a John Constantine movie.
Yeah.
And I remember freaking out because I realized that I had actually watched it. And I didn't even realize he was supposed to be John Constantine because he was just so fucking not
Keanu Reeves.
Exactly.
To be fair, Keanu Reeves can only play Keanu Reeves.
True.
Shout out to John Wick.
John Wick is Keanu Reeves.
He's Keanu Reeves with a gun in his hand.
Yeah.
That's different. You said Keanu Reeves can only play Keanu Reeves.
Huh?
What about Keanu Reeves with a beard? It's like Nicolas Cage. Just
God. They're completely different personas.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you just reskin him. All right.
Yep.
Like, gee, he wears a black suit instead of a black leather trench coat and shades. He's still Neo. God damn it.
But I think that's a good example of like when you just take a property and you don't really understand or appreciate it.
Yeah.
The fact where I actually watched this fucking movie and had no idea.
Yeah, it was actually on TV the other day and I watched it. I was like, God, this could have been so much better.
Man, it was breathtaking in a bad way.
Makes you want to take your own breath away.
But it had so much potential. It had some pretty good concepts to it.
No. Look, when Shia LaBeouf is not the low point of your movie, Shia LaBeouf is not the low point of your movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it could have been much better. It's like, y'all got a good platform, but you just I just don't know. Yeah.
Let him try it again. Rehire Keanu. Put him back in the role. John Constantine, coming to you a theater near you. Marvel, you can have that one for free.
No, that's DC. Remember that?
Nah, I'm giving it to Marvel. Marvel just gets the rights.
He wants to give the entire like dark side of DC to Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So who would be Marvel's equivalent to Constantine then? Because they could pretty much. Keanu Reeves wants to be in the MCU. They could find that and do that legitimately if there is a Marvel equivalent to Constantine.
I don't know. Their dark sides are a little different, man.
I'm trying to think of like kind of religious, dark, like.
But Marvel doesn't really do like
Demon
that
Hunter?
level of religious shit, though.
I'm trying to think of a Demon Hunter that has the similar. I can't think of anything that like would be enough of a parallel.
I feel like there's going to be a new comic book coming. As somebody from Marvel watches this and be like, you know what? We should do that because why not? We've taken everything else that they did and made it better.
I think DC's just more comfortable like touching the Christy shit, which is why they have like their
they have
demons themes and like Constantine and Zatanna and fucking all their dark stuff.
They have Jesus in the DC universe. His name is Superman. So
it's true. That's very true.
They're gonna that's literally every one of his character arcs ends with him resurrecting from the grave. So,
he always says the right thing. Yo, I'm still mad at you for that Heroes in Crisis shit, by the way. When he said the line, yeah, it's a good story, but he ruined it when he does a speech after they reveal the sanctuary. Like, oh my god. He literally did a whole speech about mental health for superheroes and ended it with truth, justice, and the American way. God fucking damn him.
He knows it.
I was so pissed. I was like, yo, that speech was perfect, and then you had to fuck it up.
That was the perfect way to end that.
It was not.
I love that part.
But it's like, what if I'm not an American superhero coming here? They had.
Look, you better say God bless America and keep it moving. Ain't nobody talking to you.
You need to fall in line.
My God.
You know who didn't fall in line?
We know who he voted for. He's probably Trump 2020.
Bro, Superman is just wholesome as shit, man. Just
look, I'm just saying, real comic book fans know that Superman is just Captain America from outer space. Same as that person.
Mike's just ate it, man. Like, Superman is just wholesome as bro. I'm gonna find the issue, like this issue where he goes to like this hospital with sick kids and like takes them out to space for a day. And I'm just like
murders them? Okay, cool.
He lets them like feel like astronauts and shit and like explore on the fucking the satellite or whatever they got. He's just a good dude, man.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Superman. We need more Supermen in our society today. Step up. Put an S on your chest.
That dude.
I guess.
On that note, I really hope DC finds their way. I mean, they've got like a lot of really good stories that they could do, even though they kind of like shot their load on like the few they did. Because I was talking to somebody about, what was it? Batman versus Superman or whatever. And I was like, so you did Doomsday and the death of Superman and part of like Dark Knight Returns all in the same movie while also introducing Wonder Woman. Like they just saw Marvel and they had no fucking patience. They're like, all right, Marvel already built the foundation for comic book movies, so we don't have to do that. Let's just hop in, shoot our load everywhere, and fuck it.
But yeah, they didn't understand it doesn't work when you haven't built anything. It worked for Marvel now, and will continue to work for them because they've built a universe. They literally created a cinematic universe.
So, next Batman trilogy ends with him ends with the wedding, Cardiac.
Such an asshole.
Moving on. Moving on. So let's just go down the line of the stuff. I hate you. God.
What do you mean? It would be a great. People have never seen Batman like that.
I let somebody read an issue from that Batman run at work, and they were like, "This is too soap opera," and they just walked away. And I'm like, "Can't everything be about punches and explosions?" Bro.
Look, we had Batman where he was. No, I'm good. Give me a little soap opera.
Yeah, so I'm not buying that ticket. Fuck this shit. I'm not even gonna bootleg it. That's how much I don't want to see it.
Fine, just bring Will Smith back in. He's had a good movie in the last decade, right?
Aladdin.
Name it.
Aladdin.
Last decade. Hold on. Okay, that's
Aladdin is the perfect movie.
No. No.
Yeah, name a Will Smith like
movie in the last decade.
That
I got to think about the last decade. That's the hard part. I just thought about the last decade.
When did I Am Robot drop?
All right, go all the way back to 2010. Karate Kid wasn't horrible.
He wasn't in Karate Kid.
He wasn't in Karate Kid.
That was his son.
Yeah,
he produced it. Okay.
No, that don't count. Let's go to the IMDb.
Suicide Squad wasn't horrible. It just wasn't interesting.
Next.
Has it actually now officially been? Because like 7 Pounds was the last thing in 2008, and then 2010 he came back and it was not.
Yeah, so
Bad Boys for Life. Talk to me in 2020.
Yeah, I'm looking at this because
it's not good. It's not good.
It's like for films, like go back to like
it's like it's
so 2012 because he didn't do movies for about 4 years. It looks like That's weird.
Well, 2008 would have been his last.
Yeah, that was his last film, 7 Pounds, which that might arguably, from what I heard, I've never seen it, be his last good movie.
If
I don't know.
okay,
I guess maybe go back to I Am Legend, maybe?
I didn't watch Concussion, so I can't speak to it. Where he played the doctor that was talking about the NFL.
I heard that wasn't all that good. I heard it had a good message, but it wasn't necessarily a good movie.
Bright.
Okay, here we go. So you got Men in Black 3. After Earth.
Look, that was a fun movie. I don't know if it was good. It was fun.
Which one, Men in Black or After Earth?
Men in Black. One of those is painful to watch, to even mention its name. And it's not Men in Black.
To watch. I didn't even want to see that.
Men in Black 3 was at least a little bit of fun. After Earth made me question if he was my favorite actor.
Okay, so following that, the Anchorman 2, I don't count that as one of his
Did
movies.
not watch that.
He was in the big sports scrum. He was the ESPN reporter. You know how the first one they had the fight between the reporters. Yeah. This time they had a bunch of other cable people come in. Winter's Tale, don't know that. Focus, nope. Concussion, Suicide Squad, Collateral Beauty, Bright, Aladdin.
Yeah.
Hasn't really done that much.
Look,
Student of the Year 2. What the
by
fuck
the end of 2019, we'll have a good Will Smith movie. I'm betting on these last two movies being good.
Okay, so he's got Spies in Disguise, Gemini Man coming out.
Anybody that went to see Spider-Man that does not remember what Spies in Disguise is, it's the one where Will Smith's character gets turned into a pigeon. It's an animated movie.
Okay.
It's
I don't necessarily count that.
And the person that turns him into a bird, the co-star is Tom Holland. It is exactly what you think it would be.
Okay. Whatever.
All this to say that Will Smith is going to be Blue Marvel in the
Yo, I'm down. I'm actually 100% down for that. 100% down for that.
Yeah, resurrect your career through the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Also, he might be one of the few black Superman that people might accept. Oh, it's Will Smith. Of course, it's fine.
I mean, yeah, he's one of their favorites. So, all right. So, what?
He could maybe do it. I was actually thinking about the Blue Marvel character. I was like, why did I say that? That was gonna definitely happen.
No, I mean, but he getting a little up there in age. You can
That's
do
what I was thinking, because Blue Marvel has the gray hair, and I was like, yeah, Smith is about the age.
Him or Obama, either one. They're about the same.
No, they can't put Obama.
No. Tell me that wouldn't be amazing. Tell me
that would just really tear the world apart if Obama came through as a superhero. That would just. Because they already hate the fact that people look at him as a superhero anyway in real life. Now he's a superhero for real.
Now I kind of want it.
Yeah,
I feel like he is.
I do too. But I do too. As I kept saying that, I was like, kind of want to see the reaction to that shit.
I'm bothered that could actually work. Put a little meat on his bones. Yeah, he could be Blue Marvel.
I mean, we don't pay attention to it, but that man is in an excellent shape. It probably wouldn't take him long to hit the Marvel regimen and bulk up a bit because he's already in fantastic.
Yeah, he doesn't need to put on that much muscle. Just fill out a little wider.
Yeah, just define himself. That's it. Okay, yeah.
All right, Marvel. We've given you the perfect.
We've given Kevin Feige some more.
Here's my thing. If I would give Marvel. At this point, anytime Marvel brings out a casting, even with these new movies, I'm look, whether or not I immediately agree with it, I'm going to see how it pans out because I can't think of a horribly casted person in a Marvel movie recently.
No, I'm sitting here trying to wrap my brain around somebody who was they really shouldn't get him because even in cases where I didn't think people should be in certain movies, they were okay, yeah. Like, I am not what's her name, Zoe Saldana fan, but
She did good.
Gamora. When Dave Bautista, they put him in, I was like, Batista really can't act, but it's like, yo, this man is knocking that shit out the fucking park. He's fucking really good. Yeah. So,
nah, I'm definitely down. I think the only thing I can think of that bugged me a little bit was Captain Marvel. And I don't have a problem with Brie Larson. I think the script was just a little weird. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I felt like they were trying to do a bit much. I think when we talked about it, I was like, I feel like the whole amnesia thing just kind of threw it off because now you're spending all this fucking time with her trying to get back her old memories. I think she could have done a lot better. I'm looking forward to Captain Marvel 2 because I do think she can do it.
Yeah, I heard there were problems though because it was two different directors doing two different parts, and they both wrote the script, so it was probably kind of just like it didn't seem like there was much solidarity behind the whole production of that from the two people. So I'm sure next time they'll probably, if they don't switch directors, they'll like improve. I actually think they're going to switch directors for the next Captain Marvel.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, new directors and new writers.
But yeah, I can't think of any that seem bad for the role, even if I couldn't like see them in my head at the time. Like, yeah, they make it work.
Yeah, no. All right, so let's go down the list of what they announced and comment on it. It's going to be a 3-hour podcast, I'm telling you. All right, so first off, the Eternals. Probably the thing people know the least about as far as all the announcements. Let me see who's in the cast. They announced. So, in the cast is going to be Kumal. I can never say his name, but he's cool. Because I've seen him before.
Who?
I'm
sorry, you're using their real names.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, who the fuck is...
Yeah. Well, he's playing the character Kingo. You have Lauren Ridloff, which people are kind of like celebrating because she's actually deaf, playing a hearing impaired character named Makari. She's kind of like enraging people too, because that character I think has been traditionally male, right?
Makari deaf in the comics?
Mercury, Hurricane.
Yeah, I think they're traditionally male. And now it's a black female on top of that. So yeah, I'm sure people are gonna. Although again, I maintain what I told you last night. Nobody knows who these motherfuckers are. So,
that's why I'm trying to like stretch. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, like okay, you changed the character. Oh,
I don't find it worth celebrating, but
yeah, but sometimes they gotta like overhype. I mean, I think it's cool that you're actually picking somebody again who is impaired to play the role, but I don't know if that's going to be a focal point in the movie. So, again, I don't know these characters. I don't know why they're that important. Maybe you guys, after I finish, can explain some of it to me. But after her, you have Brian Tyree Henry as Fastos, Salma Hayek. So happy that she's going to be on screen because I just want to see her fine ass on screen. I don't care what she plays. It says Ajax. What was that?
Nothing.
What was that? Did you just say something disparaging about Salma Hayek?
I feel like you did with her fine ass comment. I'm not looking to get me dude out here.
She's fine.
I think Ajax was also a male, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
But that's a whole. It doesn't matter. None of that mattered.
Right. Leah McHugh as Sprite, Don Lee as Gilgamesh, and Angela Jolie, the showstopper, as Tina. And it will be directed by Chloe Zhao, and it's coming November 6, 2020. Marvel is so like good at picking dates that correlate with certain things in the movies that I was literally looking to see if there was some social aspect to that date.
November 6th. What is
I've Googled that shit. Like, what's November 6th, 2020? And I couldn't find anything. So it might be just a random date.
No, I don't trust Marvel.
I don't either. I feel like there's something behind that date.
After they came out, it was just a coincidence that the Marvel movie runtime is 3,000 minutes. Get out. No, you don't lie to me.
Right. Like, you're right. Come on. Thoughts on Eternals?
Let me take back my statement before. I do see that having an actor with a disability is different. That is cool. I think I'm just desensitized to hearing like first such and such all the time
They say it so much.
that I didn't appreciate it in the moment, but fair.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I'm not going to sit here and like wax poetic on it. I think it's cool. But yeah, I know nothing about this comic book. The little I do know came recently when they first announced that they were talking about doing an Eternals movie. Like, oh, Thanos was one. Okay.
So I think it's good in that another step towards cosmology and space in the greater Marvel universe. But I think it's gonna fall. It'll be the first, like, what's it called? Guardians of the Galaxy of Phase 4, where it's a movie that people will have no clue whatsoever, even like a bare minimum understanding of what might be coming. And I think they have a good list of actors.
Yeah. Now, one interesting thing I thought stood out to me when they were talking about it on stage was how they were describing these characters as people who've been over time on Earth kind of shaping the way things were going within society and all that in the like behind the scenes. And that made me think, like, and this is where like all of a sudden like the conspiracy theory started to light up in my head. Is this going to be a part of their explanation for mutants?
Probably. That sounds about right. That sounds about, because ultimately, right, the Eternals are derivatives of the Celestials and the Deviants, right? Cardiac. I'm not losing my mind there. And there was something recently in Marvel where Celestials and Deviants were brought out to be like really modified human beings. Like, it's really weird. Like
I don't know how we got mutants. Yeah, it's fucking.
It's enough to where they could probably come up with something that makes sense as to why A or B is true.
I will say I don't know much about them, and at this point, that's really intentional. Like, I'm not going to read anything about them because I don't want to go in with like preconceived notions, I guess. Not that I'm one of those fans that's like, they didn't do the exact same fucking thing in the comics. It's garbage. But I'm like, since I already don't know about it, I'm like, all right, I might as well just go with as fresh a mind as possible. So fuck it. That said, Marvel's probably going to drop a comic or something on that time that I'll have to probably ignore. But
yeah,
and also you don't have a whole long time to wait, right? It's the end of next year.
November 6th, 2020. Yeah.
It's interesting that this would be that soon into the whole cycle to me. If you've seen Spider-Man Far From Home and you've seen the after credit scenes, I think that will probably play a part in how they're introduced or what they're doing. I think that's where we start to get those ties.
The part where we saw Squirrel Girl flying through space?
Exactly. That exact part.
On Silver Surfer's board?
Yep. Movie cut. As we heard, he's coming, just cut to black. And of course they're talking about, Cardiac. I don't want to spoil that. That might be too much.
My hunger.
All right, so next up was the Falcon and Winter Soldier details. Baron Zemo's coming back. He'll be a part of the show. That's going to be in fall 2020
on Disney Plus.
Yeah, on Disney Plus. Get your $6 ready. It comes out September? I think they said earlier.
It's interesting if it's coming out September of this year.
No, I mean Disney Plus, yeah, not this show, but
okay. So that'll probably be like their 1-year anniversary type of like, here's our big show for the start next year. But it'll again Falcon, Winter Soldier doing their thing. I mean, it should be good. I'm hoping just a little bit more consistency out of the TV shows, because I feel like some of the Netflix ones, they weren't as consistently good or consistently the same level as like the Marvel movies.
Too long.
I think you really have to understand that, like, if you're gonna go for the binge watching medium, you got to change up how you tell the superhero story. Some of them were fine, but some of them were just like, okay, like 10 to 12 hours of this.
Yeah, no, 13 episodes, 10 to 13 episodes, nah, too long. Do like they're doing on Marvel. By the way, all these TV shows are scheduled to be only 8 episodes, which is perfect.
I think that's a good amount of time.
Yeah. It's a healthy enough run to do this and tell your story, in my opinion.
It's going to be interesting to watch the internet freak out, like you've been saying. What was it? Yeah, during the end of Endgame, when Sam Wilson gets the shield. I just remember thinking at the time, I feel like a lot of people don't understand why he's getting that shield. Because I know they interacted a bunch in, like, what was it? Winter Soldier or whatever it was, but I don't feel like they established that relationship good enough in the movies to make sense to most people. Like, I just kind of accepted it because I've seen him in the comics with the shield in relatively recent memory.
If they, like, when they see him full on with the shield in hand, they're gonna be like, wait, what? Huh? Do you think that also brings up to me, like, is there gonna be an arc like that in the where him, like, really coming to terms as Captain America, like saying, like, yeah, I deserve the shield? And, like, I feel like that's inevitably going to be a plot point.
I feel like it's probably going to be part of this story where, like, they're going to go over the whole Cap retiring thing and his place as the new Captain America shield bearer. I think it's good to do it in a TV show instead of in the movies, because you'll get to actually flesh it out.
Yeah.
And have a real good arc with it, as opposed to just trying to, like, resolve it in the midst of whatever entity they're going against in the movie. So.
That would be good. Because I'm sure some people out there are just, like, annoyed because, you know, they're racist. You can't stand a black dude with a shield. But I think some of them are rightfully confused by it based on just the way the movies went.
Yeah.
Have an open mind. Just see how they do it before you start yelling too loud.
I think that's why I like the fact that it's both of them, that it's Falcon and Winter Soldier, because you have the guy who was like, yeah, you should be Captain America there along every step of the way to remind him, like, no, you are Captain America. Like, you the one who deserve it, not me. Like,
yeah, I was out there killing folks and doing bad shit.
Right. Like,
which that brings up, what is Bucky's storyline going to be in the show? Well, I don't want him just to be, once again, like, go back to being the sidekick. I feel like
no. I think you're gonna have them both. Like, I think this show is going to be the one that's going to help resolve, like, some of the post Thanos issues, as far as, like, where everybody's place is, how people, you know, the reaction to Tony's death.
Kind of like what they started with Far From Home.
Right. Like, you know, like, it's showing the ramifications of the changes that was brought along to the world and things like that. And, like, Bucky, you know, he's now, you know, I wouldn't say totally redeemed, but, you know, he has to, like, come to the grips with that because Cap's no longer around. He's in a world where there's still people who still look at him as, you know, suspect. You know, him and Sam have to work on their relationship as far as that's concerned. You know, it's there's a lot. I feel like this is going to be probably the most weighted out of the ones. Well, I say second most because I think another one might have a little bit more weight, but in a different way, on a more personable level. But yeah, I think this is going to have, like, the biggest impact to the post Endgame universe as far as TV shows go.
I'm interested in it because, like, a lot of the movies are, and I assume some of the TV shows, even though I don't watch them, they're based on either a single person or like a big team. You don't get that like duo feel, that buddy cop situation. At
Right.
least I can't think of any that do it.
I think that's a good way to also buddy cop sounds right for that duo as well.
Like I don't know if like Iron Fist and Big Black Guy did that in the show. I was gonna. Is it Luke Cage?
Yes.
Yes.
No, like his hero. He has a hero name, doesn't he?
No.
Luke Cage.
Cage. Well, I know what he's talking about. They, for a brief moment, called him Power Man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
But that was like for all of like the first few issues, probably of anything.
I've never accepted the name Luke Cage. It sounds too regular person.
No,
I love that.
I often called him Power Man.
I'm fucking Power Man is just so fucking generic, dude.
Shout out to Blackluster.
As opposed to
Just do that for one punch. If you're wondering, Black, just Google Blackluster.
He's shown me. He's shown me. He's shown me. I've seen him.
they should change his. That should be his name. The Marvel character. They should change him to Blackluster. And he just like rips off his shirt and flexes.
The funny thing is, I've seen like worse images. Then I'm gonna send you one too. I've seen worse images than the one that you sent me. Like I think this one that I'm sending is probably my like favorite, most hated image of him.
All the non-anime people out there, you can't tell me that if Marvel announced a show called Blackluster, you're not watching that shit, bro.
Like, fuck through that shit. God damn it.
Shout out to one.
Japan.
Shout out to one.
That dude is shiny as shit. He glisten.
Exactly. He luster.
Right. Like he's blurple. He is fucking blurple. That is not acceptable. That is not acceptable at all.
He calmed down the room by flexing, bro. That's all you need in life. Somebody who can flex you into calmness. But yeah, I'm very, because I haven't watched any of the Marvel shows, and people are always surprised when I say that, and I'm always like, look, Marvel is dropping like 50 fucking movies down my throat. Plus, I read a lot of the comics too. I just don't need that much of it in my life, so I gotta stay away from those shows because I don't want to binge all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, generally they're good, but they're very much flawed.
Well, you said generally, because I was gonna say when they brought all four together, that was not.
It was okay. It definitely didn't like the plot was the problem.
Yeah, I still am the biggest fan of Jessica Jones because I think, but that's how they handled Jessica Jones.
And they're still
different
out with the last one. I was surprised that it's still coming out, but this is it for that at least.
Until it comes back on Disney Plus for seasons.
If it comes back, it's going to be rebooted. We already know all of these people are going to be rebooted if they do come back.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird to not like if you didn't reboot some people and you rebooted others. No. Well, no, Marvel's not above that. Shout out to whatchamacallit, Howard. Shout out to Rhodey from Iron Man 1. They don't have a problem never addressing it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not like he was a pivotal character or something. So it didn't matter.
It's not like the first movie a decade later, the character would just be sitting there. Oh my.
They just turned up the darkness on him and moved on.
Yeah, they actually got a better actor and put him in place. I'm fine with that.
Hey, man, that dude is Lucius Lyon. He's good.
Whatever, man.
They need, man. It's hard out here.
All right. Next was go ahead.
That's the funny thing. I was gonna perfect segue. Going off of Iron Man 1 and all the references in the Iron Man series to the 10 rings and the ending of Iron Man 3, which we don't speak about. We're getting a Mandarin, but opposite Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will be coming out on February 12th, 2021. First day of the Chinese New Year, because Marvel loves to market around things that are culturally relevant to their heroes. If you don't believe me, look at Black Panther's release. Look at Captain Marvel's release. But this will star Simu Liu. I've never seen him on anything. I hear he does a lot of Canadian TV.
I forget what is he. I know him from.
I forget the name of the show. I saw the name.
But I give him credit. His tweets were funny as hell.
I love the fact that he actually hit Marvel up about a year ago and told them that we need to talk. And then yesterday, after the announcement, he retweeted that with "Thank you for returning my call."
That's what I mean. I love the confidence is.
It's something called Kim's Convenience. It's a show in Canada that he's apparently won an award for. Something else called Blood and Water as well. Never seen him, but I don't care. I'm getting a kung fu comic book movie, so I'm all. It's going to star him. Awkwafina is in it. What is the deal with Awkwafina getting all these roles now in movies? When did she become the hottest Asian female actress out there?
Her name is Awkwafina.
You never heard of Awkwafina?
Yeah, you haven't heard.
She's actually
the water bottle.
Like rap.
Fuck you.
That's the easy joke.
I know you have to say that though, because I guarantee you probably didn't spell it the way that it's supposed to.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I sent it to you so you can Google her up.
I already Googled it wrong, and then I had to put in actor at the end. And then
she's also a rapper.
Yeah, she's a really good rapper too. That's why I was like, why is she all of a sudden like she's all over the place?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these movies she's in.
You haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians?
No.
Ocean's 8?
If I have, I don't remember, but I don't think so.
I don't remember. I can't speak to any of these. I think I saw some of Crazy Rich Asians. I haven't seen the whole movie. She was on. There's none of these TV shows I don't watch either, so I can't speak to any of them.
Yeah,
actually.
I know, but it's just like lately she's been just
killing it.
A lot of roles. Like I don't even know. Does she even rap anymore?
Her last album came out June of last year.
Okay.
And Fino We Trust. Shout out. Go stream it on Spotify.
It's actually really good. That's the one I listened to.
Before that, she released one called Yellow Ranger. And I should love, but that's such a...
I mean, she'll shy away from her culture. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't know what she's going to play. But like you said, you're getting the real Mandarin. It's funny because looking at this article that I sent you guys when they're talking about it, it literally says appearing alongside Liu will be Awkwafina in an undisclosed role and Tony Leung as the quote unquote real Mandarin. And I can put real in like parentheses
because they know we still mad. God damn.
So they are very aware of like how you guys feel.
Man. But my thing is still like this is gonna be crazy because anybody that knows historically what the Mandarin's capable of doing, when you put him opposite a guy that's really good at kung fu, like I'm gonna need to see. This is another one that I'm just not well versed in, well enough to be like I know the guy's good.
He's like the best, right? He's like
he's beating super powered, yeah. But the Mandarin
artist, they call him or something like that.
I think that's what he's supposed to be, like the best martial artist in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I know Chi is also a thing for him, but the Mandarin, some of those rings are broken for normal people. Like,
look, if you just punch him hard enough, anything goes down, all right? So that's what it's all about.
That's how that actually works. I
hating ass motherfucker.
Now that you got me thinking about JoJo, if you punch fast enough, you can even beat somebody that stops time.
Facts.
That doesn't even sound right. God, that is some fucking cartoon type shit. Like, God,
y'all just hating up science.
To anybody that does not get what I'm saying, though, like look up the Mandarin and what each one of the rings is able to do. Like it is the grounds of like basic reality and matter manipulation is some of the levels we get to, and that's where I'm like, can you punch a flaming tornado of death? And Marvel's gonna be like, yes, you can, and I'll be okay with that.
And again, this kind of speaks to like what I was saying about the Eternals too. Here's another film that makes you think, is this going to have some impact on the whole mutant thing as well because of the rings? Like, is there something to it with that? And then there's a third movie, of course, that adds to the theory too that's coming up on the list.
Before we hop there, though, when they announced this movie, I was very cynical, and still I am a little bit, but I think the Black Spun, because I love those like kind of kung fu movies. I'm still hyped. I'm still interested. I'm interested in learning about a character I don't know much about. My cynicism is still there somewhere in the background, but I think it's going to be dope. It's the same reason why I'm like the only person in the world hyped for Mulan.
Huh? You're not the only person.
People are hating, man. They're like, there's no fucking Mushu. Where's all the songs? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bruh.
They're in the Disney movie. The animated one.
I'm like, bro, you assholes got what you wanted with Lion King and Aladdin and all your bullshit.
No, we did not get what we wanted with those movies.
You got exactly what you deserved. I'll put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Let some of us get something we want. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Don't do what they did with those other movies. It will be good.
I didn't watch those movies at all, but
I've seen enough to know that they're not. Nope. Don't do it.
All right. Next, we have WandaVision, which is going to
would like to put this out here. Would just like to put this out there. Still a horrible name for a TV show. Still horrible in any way, shape, and form. There's no punctuation. There's no just WandaVision.
I like it because it's intentionally corny. That's the only reason why. I feel like they're intentionally being corny with this.
I hope there's no action at all. I hope it's just like those old school sitcoms with like the laugh tracks and everything.
Well, no, this is the other one that I think is going to be like the most weighted as far as like stuff, because it's going to have to be a callback to things. Because spoiler alerts for those who don't know, Vision gone.
No, he's not. I bet he's not.
At least the original Vision gone. Like, who's going to rebuild this thing? It's sure you're going to pop up like, hey, I made your boyfriend whole again.
Yes.
You could fuck the robot.
She is the smartest person in the Marvel universe now.
Oh, shit, she is.
Okay. Yeah, she is. But I'm just saying, like, just to bring him back for this.
100%.
I guess. I don't know.
But it's not the real one. Like, that's part of the plot.
It's going to be like
she is her already being in love with him, but having to rebuild those memories and that time and that connection with someone that's not her Vision, but still Vision.
Well, that kind of helps support my idea that this is going to be very weighted, because they're going to have to go through like the history of the events and things like that. Odd thing I found, though, is that also co-starring with them is Tiana Paris, who will be playing the adult Monica Rambeau. Didn't see that in the mix for this show. Them putting Monica Rambeau in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's coming up, but I'm just glad that they're acknowledging adult Monica Rambeau, because as soon as Captain Marvel dropped and we saw, I realized afterward that the little girl was Monica Rambeau.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh shit, we're gonna get the fucking guys, man. Gonna get the Ultimates team. Fuck the Avengers. That's why we need Obama for Blue Marvel. We got Monica Rambeau. Already got Captain Marvel right there. Need some random Spanish person for America.
Random on that team. Shit, I almost thought about who could play American Chavez.
You're not gonna say Salma Hayek, Ian, are you?
No, she's way too old for that role.
Wow.
Still fine.
Wow.
Wow.
Look, she's older than me.
Mm.
Do you think I should fucking play Miles Morales? No.
Yeah, okay. I mean, look, I'm all for you, Black for Miles. We got it. Let's go. Start a hashtag petition. Somebody put it up there, right next to Area 51.
Okay, so I'm disrespectful. The member I forgot was Black Panther.
Hey,
I was like, hold up. Teams have 5 people. Who did I not list just now?
and I'm gonna make a prediction that somewhere in this TV show, dealing with between WandaVision and the movie that is directly connected with it, reverse House of M situation is how we get mutants.
Jesus Christ. I'm just trying to figure out like how the comic book community responds to that move. Maybe that's why they showed her off as so fucking powerful in Endgame.
I feel like they really amped up. Still a good moment, but like they really amped up to make the point like, nah, if she wasn't, her emotion directly plays a point in their power. And when she mad, she mad.
Yeah, I mean, he killed her boyfriend. Like, no, fuck you.
He killed her Roomba.
Wow. I feel like that's racist. Like when we have like sentient machines and shit, calling them Roomba is going to be like the N-word for robots.
Okay, I don't find that offensive. I just find that like weird because I don't think you would even see that on Pornhub. Ew.
You want to bet?
You ain't gone deep with them.
You know, I'm not even going to entertain.
You want to bet?
I'm not going to entertain Googling such things because
look, you can DM at Blak Magus on Twitter with any search queries that you.
Nah, don't just send it to the WisguyGSE. So that way, I won't have that in my fucking like box. Nah.
What a bet.
Like
It's already funny because there's the person that modified one on YouTube, modified a Roomba. Whenever it runs into something, it screams like a madman.
yeah, I saw that one. That was disgusting. It's so disgusting. Like, wow, that's some disturbed shit right there.
But that would be interesting because I think what was she? She probably lost her mind after like her fake kids went away or something that she had with Vision, right? So if they have a couple of more fake kids and then they disappear, that could amp her power up again.
Like she tries to bring them back, but just mutants. Don't worry about that in phase 5 or 6. We got
we got waste.
We got another decade to fucking explain it.
I know. The next 10 years is gonna be wild. Jesus Christ.
Is that
who else is having movies planned out for a decade in advance?
But like, I think what's even worse is it's not even just one decade. Because you can see like now every time Marvel writes an event, you have to be like, are they planning for that to eventually get here? Like, are they like, so how do we get? So if we do the Ultimates, because they mentioned during a panel that one of the cutscenes from Endgame was Doctor Strange attacking Thanos' mind, and that's how Thanos gets before the living tribunal when he falls through like the multiverse, like Doctor Strange did. That was originally something that they were gonna do, and to me, I'm like, okay, that's how deep are we going? How deep? Marvel, please. Squirrel Girl will be a thing.
They got time. I mean,
or villain.
Oh my god, she's pulled from the multiverse. A squirrel just turns into Squirrel Girl.
like, can't she just be somebody who's really into nuts and has a like huge?
Hey.
That's
moving
exactly
on.
Why,
just moving on.
That's exactly why that can't happen. That's exactly why it can't happen. I like how it's just like, well, can it just be? And I'm like, Marvel Twitter just looking at you with that face, like,
Continue. Hold on. Pulls down zipper. Go ahead.
Anyway,
before we wrap up, I'm
up,
very hyped about WandaVision because I feel like we don't have a good romance in the Marvel universe, really.
Well,
Hulk
that's the
and
thing about these like duo things is that you get these more intimate relationships that you couldn't get on screen because you had everybody like having this shared screen time. So
yeah.
Right. Like we've had like a kiss here and there throughout all these movies, but like none of them were like really in-depth relationships that like last.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm, as somebody who's not just about punches and explosions, I'm fucking down for it. People read Tom King's run of The Vision. It is a 12-issue series. It's fucking.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the only comic I've ever cried after reading. It's fucking amazing.
No thanks. 'Cause fuck. Anyway, next up, Loki is coming to Disney Plus. For those who are wondering how there's a Loki show, clearly you didn't pay attention to Endgame because you saw how they're going to do this. And he will probably be time jumping. So it'll be a comedic superhero quantum leap, I guess you could say.
Hey, Tom Hiddleston, he does a good job as Loki.
It's gonna be funny as shit. This is gonna be the one pure comedy show.
Could be. I mean, it's weird that it's not weird. It's just that him being the lead for it, the protagonist is like, so who's the fucking antagonist? Odin's son is a villain.
But no, it's like every episode he's just gonna go and fuck with somebody. I feel like it's just gonna like have him just like causing chaos all throughout and getting punched by several different people.
Having sex with a horse.
You and your Greek mythology. I mean, Norse mythology.
But they all do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know, because I'm sure, like, they all fuck each other and animals and shit like that.
Zeus appeared as an ox to get in somebody's bedroom. Things happen.
Mythology is so fucking weird.
I'm intrigued by it because I have no idea what they're gonna do. And even in the comics, like, it's just this weird thing with Loki. Like, is he a good guy? Is he a dick? Like, what is he fucking doing this whole time during this like last?
Sorcerer Supreme Loki. Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, and again, like even the joke about the antagonists of the series, if there are any, I'm just interested because I have no idea where it's gonna go. The same reason I'm interested in reading about Loki in the comics. It's just
I feel it'll be
weird thing where you have no idea which way it's going.
Shenanigans. He'll get himself into some shit and be like, wait.
Yeah.
No. Or Thor will show up and just try to beat his ass. One of the two.
It could like be used to also shape some intros for different characters that are going to come to the universe too. Like he just
100%.
have run-ins with certain people that you're going to see down the line.
Could just be him trying to be a good dude and nobody trusting him. Because
you got to remember, this is not the Loki we know in the game. This is post Avengers 1 Loki.
Right.
So, like,
never mind.
This is still very much villain because this is before the events of Thor 2, right?
Yeah,
Thor 2 and Thor 3 and
end of Avengers
1. When he still technically worked for Thanos.
Yeah,
like we just got beaten for the first time. So he's full on like, fuck Earth. I don't got a problem fucking with Earth. Fuck the Avengers.
Yeah, fair enough. Because I was thinking of after, what was it, Ragnarok, where he kind of helped out Thor and was like a good dude and shit, but like nobody else on Earth knew that because they hadn't returned. It's not like Thor told them that he was a good dude. So if they saw him trying to be a hero, they'd be like, what the fuck? You invaded Earth. That's the last memory we have of you.
Yeah, like I could see him showing up maybe on Hawkeye with Hawkeye and Hawkeye just sticking an arrow in his face or something like that.
Yeah.
That kind of fits how he is in the comics a lot of times too, though. Where like nobody really trusts Loki. Like, okay, you're up to something. You're doing some shit. What are you doing? Why are you doing it?
But even when he's doing good stuff, he's still an asshole.
Yeah, like nobody actually. Yeah, 100%. So I think it'll be a fun series.
Yeah.
And it also will be amazing when he does run into Thor. Thor's like, brother, we went through all this shit. And he's like, huh?
Right.
You're still alive. Oh, my God. Steps.
That's also the worst way to find out you got let go of like your job. Like my man's boss just got killed in the future. Like, man, it's going to be difficult. Retirement plan and everything's out the window.
All right, next we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I want this movie so bad.
And Scarlet Witch will be in this movie with him. So
It's directed by the same person.
Yep.
The first Doctor Strange visually, I think, is still one of the best Marvel movies. Such just an interesting thing to visually like go through and watch.
Yeah, it is.
I was always shocked by that because this was still probably back in the period where I was still, a doubtful person and didn't realize that Marvel can do no wrong. Back when I was like, you can't do an Ant-Man movie that's gonna fucking work. That's stupid. How does that even translate? At the same reaction when they announced Doctor Strange, I'm like, can't do Doctor Strange? How does that work? So
It worked perfectly.
And specifically the subtitle of that movie.
That again, this is the third movie that I said like brings up implications for the whole introduction of mutants and things like that, because now we're starting to jump into like the impact of them jumping through time.
Like, I want to ask the question, like, how in Far From Home can we go?
I haven't seen it, but you guys feel free to spoil it because it'll be seen.
No, I'm not spoiling that movie.
You can't spoil it for me at this point.
You couldn't avoid all the Twitter shit. You failed to avoid all the
I actually avoided all the Twitter stuff, but I trust like what you guys say to not be like ridiculous, like people just jumping out and saying stupid stuff and then having me wonder. Like I think you guys know how to spoil a movie properly.
How to spoil a movie?
No, really, people don't know how to spoil things. People like
it's a
just
good
say
movie.
Random shit that makes no sense and is out of context, and or they'll over elaborate on things to where it's like, okay, you didn't spoil it. You actually told me the entire movie event.
Cardiac, let me ask the question. It was in the trailer, right? The statement that I'm thinking of.
I'm not certain.
Okay.
Actually.
Oh, really quick before you go in, for those of you who have not seen Spider-Man, we're going to say right now, I feel like I'm going to do the timer thing like we did on the Reasonable Board, just to make sure that people will know when to like clock it. So
we did.
At the count of 3, we're going to spoil Spider-Man Far From Home. If you haven't seen it,
are we? I don't know if we agreed to spoil it.
Yeah.
Well, I figured you were going to say something that was going to spoil it, right? But it's a certain event that people that might spoil it for people.
That might spoil it for people, yeah.
Right. So I would rather like do that and then like not have people be like, you said that, like, because
yeah, I'm
warning you.
We're almost a month out, but yes.
Yeah. So we're actually past the we're past the end game spoiler limit at this point. So sorry guys. So count of 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. To keep it very brief, within Spider-Man Far From Home, the multiverse is brought up. And by the end of the movie, there's questions about it. But I'm glad they're confirming that the multiverse is actually this to me is them saying like, oh no, this is still true. This is 100% exactly what we meant, even if it was called in question in the movie.
Yeah, I think they did cover it in either the trailer or some kind of news thing. So I remember them saying like, "This is Earth 616 and this is Earth blah blah blah." So
I feel, when they introduced
for Mysterio, right?
In the trailer he says he's from the multiverse.
Yeah,
and I'm happy that they're reinforcing that statement with this movie.
Agreed.
Because Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch running around the multiverse is so cool. Sorry, I'm geeking out.
I think Scarlet Witch doing it is fucking dangerous.
Oh, that's why I love it, because you can't
But it speaks to the whole thing about how, like you were saying with the reverse House of M thing, like it
the last word in this title as well deals with madness. There's Scarlet Witch is one of the few people you do not want to be unstable because yikes. And it's coming out like because what? WandaVision comes out spring 2021.
May 7th, 2020.
I feel like it will be like the tying of the bow to end off that series.
Yeah.
Because they say it feeds directly into the movie. Also, hopefully Dormammu makes another. Dormammu, I have a request.
It'll probably be Nightmare.
Probably.
But
Brother Voodoo, we need you.
Well, you still have 3 minutes to say whatever you want about Far From Home, so feel free.
Far From Home is a really good. I don't want to spoil it because I've said this before, but Far From Home is my favorite Spider-Man movie, and I think it's the perfect way to end off Phase 3. So I'm really careful about giving too much information about that movie.
It's kind of funny because I hear complaining about that too. People do not like Tom.
I thought about it, but I think it's my favorite Spider-Man movie.
And I will go out on a limb and say Tom Holland and Zendaya as Peter Parker MJ is delightful.
To be clear, I'm not one of these people that like hates Tobey Maguire or whatever, and I didn't favor Andrew Garfield, but I didn't hate him either. But despite that, I think it's probably the best one. If we don't throw Into the Spider-Verse into the mix, and even then it might still be better. But it would be a harder discussion with Into the Spider-Verse than that one compared to all the other movies they've done, including A Homecoming.
Yeah. I also think it just came out the perfect time. Like, it to me is the movie to come after Endgame because of just what it does. Go see the movie Blak, because we need to.
Yeah, because we're gonna do a spoiler cast
100%
about this whole thing.
Safe for the end credits.
Duh. I'm not a noob.
I mean, both. Yeah.
After Endgame, people started questioning things.
No, because it's like they told you before. I still maintain people are stupid. They told you. I don't think they're going to lie about that.
But no,
if anything, it made no sense to have an end credit to that movie anyway, because the end was the end credit. As far as I'm concerned, they told you this was the end of this saga.
Spider-Man: Far From Home is the end of the saga, which.
I was hoping for X-Men stuff at the end of Endgame, but I respected.
I maintain that Spider-Man is not the end of the saga. I think that it's just the transitional piece.
It's
the epilogue. Yeah.
Sure.
Spider-Man: Far From Home is the what now movie.
Yeah.
And that's why it's perfect.
With Doctor Strange and this multiverse shit, are we gonna drag in anybody of interest here? I'm not saying we're gonna get Old Man Logan, but
I think they will do something that will directly create that's why, to me, them saying at the panel they didn't talk about how they're going to introduce mutants. They didn't talk about the Fantastic Four. They didn't talk about all these other plot lines that are clearly they jokingly said yeah, you've heard all the rumors and everything, but kind of also confirming those rumors.
Oh, 1 second. All right, everybody. The spoiler limit has been lifted, so y'all don't have to worry about that shit no more. Y'all can calm down. You won't hear anything. I actually didn't really say anything either, but so if you want to go back and listen to it, go listen to it. All right, go.
Yeah, but with all the things they confirmed during the panel of we're not even addressing these rumors. To me, that movie will be a place where I don't think there's just going to be one. It's not just going to be this is where we get the Fantastic Four from. Oh, this is where we get mutants from. Oh, this is where we get. It'll be kind of some of it comes from the multiverse, obviously, and I think that will be amazing. And I think if they were going to pick one, I honestly would say that the Fantastic Four probably is the best thing to pull from the multiverse.
I think it's the easiest because they're, I don't know, not as mixed in with the rest or anything. It's easy enough to pull them as a unit over because they're so used to exploring space and all that shit.
I also think that gives you time without having to introduce Doom. You can start to build Doom up as a bigger villain and kind of a threat that the Fantastic Four know about, but we don't necessarily know about.
All this said, I don't care if I ever see them in the MCU. Fuck them.
They're coming to the MCU.
Doom forever.
They're coming to the MCU.
I blame them for the end of my infamous Iron Man run. I love that shit. Doom as Iron Man was the shit. And the second they came back, he went back to being the same old asshole. Fuck
That's
them.
his fault.
Fuck them. Never liked them growing up. But I mean, yeah, because in the comics, there are characters who exist in like the main Marvel universe who came over from the multiverse. Miles Morales is a good example. He's not from this current universe that he's in, but when Marvel finds that there's shit that works, they eventually roll it over and just kind of coalesce it into their regular shit. Same reason Old Man Logan is in the, assuming he's still alive because I don't read X-Men shit like that, but he came to the main Marvel universe too. A lot of them, you know, they try out different stories here and there, and then when they work, here they are. So I think it's a good opportunity to just drag some shit into the MCU.
It will also be the best place to introduce somebody that, to a degree, might be on Thanos' level, in my opinion. Like,
Squirrel.
Once you get multiverse level threats, okay, cool. I can start to be scared a little bit.
I'm looking for the randoms. Like Hyperion just comes flying through a portal and just like punches the earth. This is how you do Superman, bitch.
Wow. Let them know them. Wow.
That would be bad, though. They're gonna do that. You stop saying these things because they're gonna do shit like this. And they're gonna make you realize, like, God, DC don't really know what they're doing.
Look, I'm 100% down that we pretend that Hulk is neutered until Hyperion shows up and he's getting his ass beat, and then he's like, "I can use my other arm again." And then it turns.
I still maintain that y'all don't listen to what the fuck the Russos.
He has to recover. I didn't say. Look, my thing is this: when I talk about Marvel at this point, I'm talking 10 years. It's like Star Wars movies. You got at least a decade that you got to account for information that could possibly change the current picture.
Like, he's a scientist. He uses gamma radiation. You really trying to tell me he can't figure out how to?
They bring Red Hulk in from the multiverse. Who they really gonna be like, yeah, like let's bring some random person out. Be like, all right, Hulk, you got to figure out how to beat Red Hulk.
Red Hulk's a bitch. He doesn't have this problem.
Hulk has one arm. Maybe
they bring in She-Hulk from the multiverse to be like, this is my cousin from another.
That's weird.
I mean, that's how we got Supergirl. She's, cousin from space.
Hey, cousin. I don't know you. No, you're my cut. Don't worry.
Don't say that, because I kind of was a fan of Supergirl, but thinking about that, it's just the most randomest thing.
Okay, Power.
Planet blew up.
Make you feel better.
But no, I'm just saying the Supergirl shit. Your planet blew up. Your cousin, that you didn't know your cousin was randomly like out there.
Black. My response to you: blood is thicker than matter.
In fairness, she was stuck in her fucking capsule thing or whatever. It's not like she was just out there the whole time. Like, that's why he became older than she was, because she got stuck in her shit. Whereas he just kind of grew up as an adult. And by the time she got there, like, what the fuck? The baby's older than me. This is bullshit.
I guess. Whatever.
But all of this could be investigated in Marvel's What If series, which they also announced.
What if DC did movies right?
Yeah. No, that might be the best April Fool's joke ever. What if Marvel made Suicide Squad?
That's not nice. Oh,
what if Marvel made Superman versus Batman? All that pops up, we would use one plot line.
Actually, no. I feel like Kevin Feige probably at some point worked for Warner Brothers. So I feel like the what if should be, what if Kevin Feige would have stayed? Or some shit like that.
Ooh, look, it works.
God damn. That was perfect.
I would hope that he has Warner Brothers in his, like, his resume, because that shit would be hilarious. Like, yeah,
we're living in the world where like DC is in Marvel's position right now, and like we're talking about the upcoming fucking Green Lanterns movie and shit. Oh god,
we're over here being like, yo, do y'all remember how badly they did Thanos in the Avengers? Who like actually does Doctor Doom, Thanos, and fucking the
Miles.
Beyonder all in one movie. Like, why would you? Who does that? Like, and during the middle of it, actually, Civil War would be going on as well because Iron Man versus Captain America. Yep, okay, Marvel make it. Trust me.
That's why I'm not really looking that much forward to the Batman movie because they're talking about putting like a shit ton of his villains in that thing. It's like you really need to maybe if you wanted to have him visit Arkham and just like have them randomly in the background, okay, but you
Just
really need to have them.
Make Arkham Asylum the game, the movie.
I guess I could do, but still, do you really want to blow your load like with all of them at once?
Do I
Especially
want them
first-
to? Yes, because I want to see the train wreck. Should they? No. No.
You know who comes through the multiverse portal that I'm imagining?
Who?
Hydra, Captain America.
No, like, to me, even if they don't do that, if one of these what if animated movies is not Secret Empire, I'm fighting somebody.
Oh, it's going to be. I think the what if stuff is going to go into the deeper weird thing. I think they're doing the what if just to prove that, you know what, all this shit that y'all said wouldn't work as a movie or as a show, we're going to just use this and show y'all that, yeah, if we really fucking wanted to do all this trippy comic book shit, we could do it, and we could do it really, really good, and you like it. I think the what if series is their flex moment, for real.
100%.
I think
Also, it's
they
animated.
slowly pushed like in the original Doctor Strange when they kind of alluded to the multiverse and like the staff of the Living Tribunal, all that shit. And then you got some time travel here and there in Endgame, and then some talk of the multiverse in Spider-Man, and now we're gonna hopefully really push it even further with Doctor Strange, whatever this thing is called, Madness in the Multiverse or whatever it is. I think they are slowly introducing like comic book shit into the public realm. Like, I think if they did this kind of thing in their first set of movies, that would have been too much. You gotta get people comfortable with like the weird bullshit that happens in comics.
It's once again, Marvel is kind of showing, even with Phase 4, like, hey, DC, you need to do a Phase 1 type deal. Like, you can't just spring the craziness on people, like you said.
It's like being an anime fan. Like, people ask me what anime to watch if they want to get into it. I'm always thinking like, all right, what's kind of tame here? Because there's a lot of weird, trippy shit in anime and just like Japanese culture in general that I feel like a lot of anime fans just take for granted.
Yeah.
Like,
For
when
me,
men get turned on their nose, just start squirting blood. Like, that's
always
the kind of
recommend,
thing you
like-
have to get used to.
I always recommend like Psychopaths, because it's a sci-fi show that there's enough there for people to be like, oh, okay, sci-fi and crazy guns and police. Okay, I can kind of get that. Great. But like you said, yeah, like you don't show somebody Mob Psycho 100 as they're like, yeah, like get an anime. Sure. It's not weird.
That's
Or
what
the
I like giving people like issues of Batman or whatever, like the Heroes in Crisis thing. They're simple enough that you could just kind of hop on, and you don't have to be used to things that happen as tropes in those mediums. And Marvel does a good job of building that up. Like they own so much of pop culture right now that they're just slowly spreading the seeds and letting them grow in people.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
No,
But Multiverse of Madness
it's a multiverse
and the what if. I like that they're also doing those animated, because I feel like they can do the little bit more out there stories that they couldn't do.
Well, one of the things that's great about the What Ifs series is that it's going to be a part of the movies because all of the actors are coming back to reprise their roles.
Yeah.
For the movies. So it's not like they're like just doing this weird offshoot thing where there's no real continuity. It is literally a what if, Chris Evans as Captain America was Hydra.
Like the idea, like that they alluded to in Endgame. Like, what if that wasn't just a joke?
Yeah, the Hail Hydra thing.
Yeah. What if Hulk was able to go into, like, what if Smart Hulk fought Thanos? That's where I think it can be really fun, because you can 100% just commit to all the stuff Marvel fans yell at you about, like that are just insane and crazy, you can 100% commit to with the What If series.
Yeah, like things that probably wouldn't make sense to put on in a movie, at least for a 2-hour pacing, you can just do in this.
It's also a Disney Plus show, which really helps. It's not like box office. We have to tell the story in 2.5, 3 hours. It's
that, and it's animated, and you don't have to worry about an editor losing his goddamn mind trying to make this shit fit and conform to whatever needs to be on the screen, to work properly. So, yeah. Next up, we have Hawkeye, which will star Jeremy Renner. It's kind of funny because I remember him pushing for this and me thinking, I guess, but I guess he pushed hard enough because he's getting his own TV show. And they will introduce Kate Bishop. They haven't announced anybody else in the cast, so we don't know who's going to be Kate Bishop. And it will be coming in the fall of 2021. Either of you excited for this?
It's another show, and I think it'll be fun to see the dynamic. I probably Hawkeye to me is the person that's has the most to address of the Avengers following in game.
Yeah, like, yo,
he did a lot of shit.
Psychopathic murderer. How are we going to fix this?
I mean, just ignore it. He just goes back to being happy because he has his family back.
There's a bloody sword in your garage, sir.
I don't think they're going to spend too much time addressing
like,
this.
Honey, where did these clothes come from? And why do I keep getting calls from Nick Fury asking when you're going to write a statement about the 50 bodies they found in a warehouse in Mexico?
I mean,
they literally did that in the movie.
Or it's not even just like it'll be. I think it'll be offhanded comments, kind of going to it like, "Oh, we got a mission in Japan. You can handle that one. I'm gonna head over here." Like, "Oh, why can't you?" I'll just go deal with this. Don't worry about it. You got it, Kate. Do you?
I honestly don't think they're going to spend very much time dealing with this problem. I think it'd probably just be largely focused on Kate, so it's not going to matter very much that he has these weird demons that he was.
Do you think so? He'd be more of a mentor character than a
probably.
Which also means he would have to be like, he would have to have the conversation of, like, the Batman line, to keep it very simple, of like, how far is too far? Like, is he going to be the person that eventually pushed it or be like, no, you need to save those people, even if it means putting an arrow between that man's eyes? Like, okay. Like,
the reverse Batman.
Be like, yo, Dad, that's a little bit dark.
Do not fear the blood.
Yeah. Oh, that's how we bring vampires in. I see.
Hawkeye versus Blade. Good shit.
Oh my fucking God.
Jesus, that fight
wouldn't be funny as fuck for the next Blade.
They should. I don't love this in the comics, but since they're doing what ifs, they should do like a versus series too. Just like
100%.
Because they do this fucking like. What was it the other day? It was Wolverine versus Blade. Like,
I do have one request. I want them to leave it open-ended because I want them to piss off the internet, and even because the internet's gonna be pissed off either way. What do you mean that Captain America would lose to Falcon Captain America? No, he wouldn't. And it's like, all right, cool. Like,
but they're always open-ended anyway. They're like, usually there's like some dumb reason they fight, and then they realize that they should need to work together, and then they move on.
All right.
That's how. Like Deadpool versus Black Panther.
But no, I know what you mean. Not like the whole we come to a point where, oh shit, we got to team up now. No, just like have them fight to a crescendo and then
everybody, yeah.
Like let you speculate what's gonna happen.
I always say like have everybody the way that with like TV shows, especially visual storytelling, let them show all of their cards. Like, of course, that becomes difficult when you have the Hulk fighting Hawkeye. Because he punches a fucking building and he dies. But pick smart matchups, have them show the cards, and rather than it being like, yes, and now he grabs him and the other guy passes out. Like, leave it up to speculation. Have them both come up with a plan on how to win. start it, but you don't have to give. Just Sopranos it. Black cut to black.
Yeah.
I think you do Hawkeye versus Hulk.
And have Hawkeye win.
Yeah, Hawkeye killed
Yeah,
him.
that I would like to see come to a finish, like stuff like that. Because although I would like to go the other way, because
I mean they already did
like
it, right?
to be like, but no, I would like it to be like, yeah, of course this fucking big ass green motherfucker's gonna murder this regular guy. He's fucking crazy going for it against him.
I want all the people who got mad when Hawkeye killed Hulk to get mad again. That's all I want.
Oh, you are that.
I was also gonna say though, but they already did a teaser run of it, like a pilot for Versus series. Hawkeye versus Black Widow.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. See?
The winner throws themselves off a cliff. That's how every episode.
And that
is.
fight didn't have like a winner per se because they didn't fight to like defeat each other. But I think
they definitely both had a goal.
No, she won. I mean,
like
the prize wasn't that great, but she won.
So I want from the verse, like, just make a basic little reason for them to fight. Like in Deadpool versus Black Panther, I think Deadpool wanted some vibranium or something. Just give a random reason that they need to come to blows, and then
Deadpool is the easy way because Deadpool will just pick a random reason. You don't have to ever make sense with Deadpool. But yeah, like I'm trying to think. Even if you went back to like Captain America: Civil War, and really just wanted to do if Tony Stark and Iron Man solo fought back, like you can give a reason, like, oh, well, okay, we have to finish this, and like one of them is going to be cliche, like, oh yeah, this was just sparring practice when they almost kill each other, but yeah, okay, spar, do you? It's fun. That's ultimately, it is not a serious show. It is just literally that, a what if show. What if Iron Man was a pirate?
I mean, yeah, that's what they do. Like, what if Peter Parker never lost the Venom symbiote? What if Wolverine was a vampire? I don't know, like just random shit that they like to do.
And I think that'll be fun. And same thing with Hawkeye. Hawkeye can... Like, Hawkeye's really hard. Because, like, what...
Let's see. Here's a good what if. What if Jane Foster actually mattered?
Look, we are talking...
The joke is, she's not going to ever matter.
Even in Marvel Comics, Black, you have to have some symbolism of realism in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can't just completely strike out in the fairy tale land. We can't go that far.
Well, apparently, Taika Waititi is going to try with Thor: Love and Thunder, which is going to make Jane Foster
what is his
the
name?
Mighty Thor. Taika Waititi.
I meant, like, where does that name come from?
He's from New Zealand.
An island. Okay, I was gonna. New Zealand. That sounds very.
I think it's from New Zealand.
That is, I was gonna say Pacific, South Pacific.
Yeah, it is
one of those.
Yep, New Zealand.
Hey, Black, look at that.
It's funny. He's from the same town someone I know is from over there.
He did Ragnarok, correct?
Yeah, he did Thor Ragnarok.
The Jane Foster thing is gonna be a huge joke.
Exactly.
Before we hop onto that, I was looking up like just random Marvel what if comics just out of curiosity, see like which ones they've done. Sure enough, they actually did do what if Wolverine was Lord of the Vampires. So we just throwing out random
Wolverine.
Yeah, random as shit. Because I just said like what if Wolverine was a vampire. So anything is possible. Anywho,
also it'd be cool to get narrated by the Watcher. I didn't mention that before, but the Watcher narrating it will actually be pretty good.
Yeah. That's going to be a cool thing for whatever. But yeah, we're getting a fourth Thor. After Thor Ragnarok, I think we all kind of demanded another Thor because they finally hit the mark with that character in its solo movie after Dark World kind of just made everybody shit all over it.
Well, to be honest, Dark World was a laxative. So shitting and being shitty just happens.
It's weird how nobody seems to remember that movie.
Because it was that
it's
bad.
funny because I do, and I kind of wish I didn't. But
I think honestly, like amidst everything, if there's one in the first 3 phases, Thor: Dark World might be the low point, like the lowest point of the MCU.
It's like a repressed memory for a lot because I'm certain I watched it, and I've seen a lot of people have this same sort of experience where it's like, I know I watched it, but I don't remember like anything about it.
I remember slight things. I remember stuff that kind of like made me eye roll, like when they mentioned how basically Loki was the son of frost giants that no longer exist and shit like that.
Here's where it was a weird moment for me. It's like, because I remember saying like before this movie was announced, like, we should do Malekith and like War of Realms and blah blah blah, and then I was suddenly reminded that we had Malekith in Dark World. So I was like, oh shit, my memory is ass.
Also, so Thor 4 has to come after Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Does it?
Maybe, because it has a release date. It's coming out May the 1st of 2020. They haven't announced the release date for Guardians 3 yet, so Guardians 3 has to come out.
It would have to be like first part of next year. It has
January.
to be like it would have to be the February movie of next year.
Yeah, it has to be like February, January.
But May is also what? Thor is November 2021.
Maybe it's just coming out after. I mean, it's kind of a tight fit to get it in that soon.
Yeah, no. Guardians has to be February next year because if this is May next year,
it could be the July movie of next year.
But do you want it to come after Thor?
No, Thor. Okay, so I know the list you're looking at. Black Widow, the thing is above it, not below it. I'm looking at the list. It's November
5th. Okay, so it is going to precede.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying July 2020. Yeah. So July 2020, I think I could cross. Cool. You have Asgardians of the Galaxy. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. We all know who the captain is. Yes.
It should just be Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Really, it should. And
I know they said they weren't going to do that, but I feel like they're lying.
But it will be Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, which she is still and will be the queen of Asgard.
Hold up. Asgard.
New Asgard.
New Asgard. It's a dirty shack with like a bunch of dirty people.
New Asgard.
These aren't, come on. We'd call this bitch the queen of Asgard as though she's like the queen of something important.
And she's also searching for her own queen in the movie. This has been confirmed. So, Jane Foster and her.
I think it's going to be She-Hulk.
That would be weird, but I'm for
it. Black and green all day.
Do you like the motif? The 80s color scheme and theme.
Yeah, I love that he uses this Flash and Gordon logo things like he did in Ragnarok. I love that. Like this looks like what's the name of that damn cartoon? He-Man. It looks literally like the He-Man logo.
I have mixed feelings about it.
Love and Thunder. I just don't know where to go with that.
I kind of like the title, but I don't know either. But one thing I like about the Thor comics is just the way the art style, like even the lettering is a little bit different. Like it makes it feel like it's more in Norse mythology, and even the way like the narration and stuff is done, it's just like a different flavor from all the other shit. So I kind of appreciate that in this logo. It's not my favorite thing ever, but it does hopefully feel different from the rest of them. Feel a little bit more magical.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Actually, it's not He-Man. It's She-Ra, so it fits the Jane Foster thing. It reminds me more of the She-Ra logo.
Let me see real quick.
I just thought about that, so yeah.
Amidst all the jokes we are making, though.
Oh, yeah.
Jane Foster.
Yeah, no, but seriously, right.
Yeah. It does go to that. She-Ra. So it's the He-Man one. Actually, yeah, you're right. It's definitely much closer to She-Ra.
Mm-hmm.
I have shitty memory.
Totally fits the whole tone of this. Too bad she ain't gonna live past the end of the movie.
You mean Odin's son isn't gonna live?
Oh, he'll be fine. He's gonna be there forever.
Look, man, he's like of that big three. You know, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. He needs to go. He needs to go.
He's not going anywhere. Especially since Chris Hemsworth is already negotiating a longer contract. He ain't going nowhere.
Then he'll be trapped in prison somewhere, getting butt fucked by, Celestials, whatever. He just needs to go away. He just needs to not be around. He's fine. He needs to be killed by Gore the God Butcher, and then we move on with our lives.
Or Jane Foster. Because what's going to happen? Because it's Love and Thunder. When she gets in trouble, Thor's heart will beat, and you'll hear a roll of thunder as he once again reclaims his spot as the God of Thunder.
What spot? He is that right now. It's not like he doesn't have it.
Yeah, but they're going to make her the goddess of thunder, so he
Yeah.
has to take his title back. Like, yo,
I would say, like, this isn't like, Jason Aaron's run where, like, Thor was unworthy or whatever and just didn't have the hammer for a long time. Like, he has the only hammer that exists right now. So
I'm still kind of mad that they brought that whole point to a close and fit it in the game. Like, I am still worthy. Okay, no, you're not.
But that's the thing. Like, they never really established that he wasn't worthy. Like, because the hammer wasn't there. It's not like we knew that he could not lift it ever.
yeah, I mean, it got smashed. So.
Yeah, so like that was the difference. Because in the comics, he couldn't lift it for a long time, and she could. So, what was it? The Unworthy Thor story. That had a lot of drama because he had this weird crisis of like,
identity,
confidence.
Yeah,
where like he just kept struggling with that. Like, I'm not worthy. I can't do this. Blah blah blah. And they just kind of snuck that into the movie and never really established that he wasn't worthy in the first place. He just kind of got fat and drunk.
Well, I think that's why they did it, though, because he probably felt like, I've been fat and drunk. Am I still? And then they like reestablished. And it's like, joke's on you, Cardiac.
It wasn't on me because I was like,
wait.
When he did that, I was like, wait, could you not lift the hammer before? Like, what the fuck was that? What's the big deal?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is a big ass training montage for Thor to get back in shape.
He's just doing sprints around the planet somewhere.
I mean, it'll have the music. The 80s music was very well fitting for training montages in movies.
As long as I get another Fortnite reference, I'm down.
Just doing push-ups on the sun.
Yeah.
But I will say, I've said for a long time that the real Thor was the real Thor, Jane Foster. You know what I'm saying? And everybody always rolls their eyes and they laugh and they chuckle. But you can all eat a dick because I was rewarded for my faith.
She's going to die only because Natalie Portman's not going to hang around that long. Come on.
She's fine.
Natalie Portman is going to do this movie. She's going to get her paycheck. She's I'm out.
So, do we want to make a bet 2 years ahead of time? Do you want to? Do you think she finishes the movie? Now, are you going to say she's the only Thor or the only person wielding the hammer? Because they did specifically show her wielding Mjolnir, or she picked up Mjolnir, right?
Sorry, somebody messaged me something confusing. But
no, like I'm saying at the panel, I was asking Blak. She had her own Mjolnir, right? So do they mean that in the sense of she has her own weapon, or do they mean that as she has Mjolnir?
I was confused by that because what was it? Like when Thor brought back Mjolnir to the present time during Endgame, I was like, sick. Now there's another hammer. She can have that one. But then he takes it back. Captain America takes it back at the end when he like goes back to return the Infinity Stones. So I'm like, all right. So there is no Mjolnir. So when I see this image of Natalie Portman with the hammer, I'm just confused. I'm like, but that hammer doesn't exist. So what the fuck?
I mean, they can always make another one.
They need somebody to stand in for the all hands on deck part because
I'm sure they'll make another one. So they'll figure out a way to make another one.
Also, Groot isn't really looking to lose another limb, I don't think.
Is that hammer even special in the movie? Like, it's just
I think that's the whole point of Ragnarok, right? That the hammer was irrelevant.
right.
That he didn't need the hammer to use his power.
Because like in the comics, they introduced this interesting concept that like there's sort of this like sentient storm inside the hammer. So when it broke that time, it was like kind of important because it was sort of alive, and he couldn't just reforge it because it was like gone or whatever. But with this hammer in the movies, I'm pretty sure it's just metal. So
you know what that sounds like
every time. Good.
You know what that sounds like, Cardiac? Natalie Portman is really playing Jean Grey. Sentient storm gives powers. That's how they bring the X-Men.
Now, there's one part that I'm actually a little concerned about, and it's the aspect of the cancer that the Jane Foster Thor character had. My question is, are they going to do it at all? If they do, does that put the timetable on her? Do they cure it like they like? Well,
I don't think you.
I don't think cure.
I don't think they're going to introduce that element into the.
I don't think they will call it cancer. I think they will keep it ambiguous enough to where it's something that's killing her, and that way you don't ever have to explain when or why she dies. We just know the sickness got her.
But if she, well, I think it's probably more likely she would state it if it gets her at all. Because like in the comics, like I think she died very briefly, but then Odin just brings her back or so. Like I was very annoyed when they called it the death of Jane Foster. I'm like, but she's still around. She's fine. She's just not a hero right now, dealing with cancer. And then she got through it, and now she's moving on. But I don't know. That was the aspect I was curious about, because the cancer in that story was a very interesting part of the story. Is that she's just a human, and she's for those of you guys who didn't read that run, she had cancer, and whenever she would pick up the hammer and transform into Thor, it would like clear out all the impurities in her body, like the chemotherapy. So she wouldn't get better while she was Thor, because every time she'd go in for chemo, it would just get wiped away. So she was slowly dying throughout that entire series.
I have a. You know, it's a very simple thought. If it clears out the impurities, would it not clear out the cancer? Or was it like essentially her body? Look,
maybe I'm using the wrong word there.
No. I know what you're talking about. I know, because that was part of, like, I remember that very strongly as one of the pieces of the run. It was like her turning into Thor gets rid of the chemotherapy. My entire thing is like, but why is only the chemotherapy and not the malfunctioning cells that caused the cancer?
I don't. The weird justification I remember hearing was that like Marvel, as far as cancer goes, doesn't just cure that normally. I don't know. It's just got this weird line that they have with like cancer in particular, where I guess because it's such a serious social illness that when it happens, they try not to fuck around with it too much.
Yeah, it's just the it's one of those things, like the explanation, if you think too hard about it, it's like, why?
But even then, they made it sound like it was possible to cure it with magic. Because I remember Doctor Strange was there at one point, and she just kind of refused because she wanted to like go through it as a human. She didn't want to like. I don't remember what her justification was, but it was like this weird, fuzzy thing that they refused to like really settle in on as to whether they could cure it with magic and blah blah blah. And she just wouldn't let them try. So I think they just kind of skated around that question as much as possible.
I think that I think they'll kind of do something in the movie, even if it comes down to like she gets sick and Chris Hemsworth's character gives up his powers to save her.
Well,
like he makes her Thor because he believes it'll save her.
His love makes him give
love and thunder.
It could be. I don't know.
All of these ideas are corny, though. All these subtitles make me come up with
that's
corny
the thing.
ideas.
There's a slight the thing about Ragnarok that made it so good was there's a slight level of corniness and like childishness to it that made it so good, you know?
Yeah.
So I could see them doing something goofy. like to make you groan, but in a good way.
It's a rom-com that ends with her becoming Thor.
That would get me so mad if she wasn't even Thor at all until like the very end.
Right.
Like, it's just like an end credit scene. I'd be like, oh my.
But here's the thing. But to do it and to make the other side just as mad, they have to do it in such a way that they feel insulted. So like Hela comes back and she like one-handed stops her. And she's just like, this took you an entire fucking movie to do? What the fuck? Just win.
But I mean, yeah, the cancer thing I'm interested in because I think it's a very important, dramatic piece of the character. But I can see them just ignoring it completely if they just wanted to. It depends on what they want to do long term.
Marvel's, and that's one of those things that we end up having to give Marvel credit for, right? Is that the question of, well, how do you said it earlier, like flashback 5-10 years, how do you make an Ant-Man movie good and interesting and make it make sense? It's like, all right, cool. I'm like, y'all, these last 10 years I will give you the benefit of the doubt.
Sure. I think part of the reason too is that they don't stick precisely with the comics at all, which I love, by the way, because a lot of people get upset when they do something different. I'm like, but it makes it, one, not predictable because I don't know what's going to happen, and two, some things just don't translate as well from the comics anyway. So sometimes it's better to just do your own thing.
It's like I was saying about the what if thing. Like, let them do all the stuff that may not translate well into like screen live action.
That's what animation is best for.
And cut off all the stuff that wouldn't be that easy to put on film. So.
Yeah, I think Marvel of all people.
And part of me wants Odin's son to die just to make all the people mad. They're like, oh my god, they're replacing him with a woman.
You're not getting rid of Chris Hemsworth.
Here's the thing. I don't want him to die because they'll be like, well, she only got the hammer because he died. She's not really. I want him to be alive and I want him to cheer for it. Yeah. I want anger and blood to boil just because of their like, well, what do you mean? No.
I kind of feel bad that he became worthy again at the end of Endgame or whatever. Well, not that he was ever unworthy, because him being unworthy was like the first time I really cared about Thor. Like him going through these kind of struggles.
Yeah, his clear like processing of messing up and the trauma of his mom and all the past things was legitimately like, this is an interesting and like storyline that I care about. Like, I want Thor to be okay. There's a little bit of comedy, but it's also like this is not. And now it's kind of like, hey, I'm worthy.
Like, one of my favorite scenes from that movie was like when he's talking to his mom and she's like, you know, he's talking about how he's suffering and stuff, and she's like, well, you're just like everyone else. And he's like, I'm not supposed to be like everyone else. Like, that kind of pressure he puts on his shoulder. It's like moments like that are the moments where I stop hating him for a bit. Like in the comics, I really loved the Unworthy Thor run. It was really short, but it was like one of my favorite things I was reading. And then eventually he just became the same old meathead, just like throwing a hammer. I was like, fuck this guy, man. So if you give me dramatic Thor, I'm down, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think they've cracked the code on Thor to make him a much more appealing character, cinematically speaking.
So the Guardian's going to be in that movie too, or does he like break it off with them before?
That's why I think that Guardians is going to happen first, and Guardians are going to go do something else.
Yeah,
I guess it makes sense unless they just storm.
I feel like Rocket and Groot are going to be in this movie, though.
Yeah, Rocket and Groot are great.
Yeah. So we're not going to get a three-way fight between Jane Foster, Valkyrie, and Gamora. Hashtag girl power.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Now, Blak, you said they cracked the code. Going back to Endgame, they also cracked somebody's skull. She's getting a movie.
Well, to be fair, they didn't crack her skull. They decimated her whole fucking body by smashing it against the rocks like hundreds of feet below.
Hey, she saved the universe.
I mean, yeah, good on her, but it can't be that well. Like I can't imagine she can do the flips and shit that she used to do now, coming off of that. Like, so if you don't know what we're talking about,
You fucking asshole.
I'm just saying, you don't know what we're talking about. They're just coming out with a Black Widow movie. This is the one that I meant
The first.
coming out May 1st, 2020, with Scarlett Johansson reprising her role as posthumous.
No,
Black Widow?
this takes place. This takes place. I believe at least some of it. I believe they were talking takes place before Infinity War, and it explores some of the darker stuff.
So between that 5-year period, maybe.
I believe so.
Okay. I gotta feel like they're gonna try to tie this into her coming back somehow.
We do have also some connections. Red Guardian will be a thing in the movie.
Yeah. Played by Hellboy.
There are rumors that some of the other people that we do know are in the movie with just names. Somebody is going to be Taskmaster.
Ooh, you think Mason's gonna be Taskmaster? Whatever that person's name is. That's a weird name. OT Fagbinal. What?
Didn't we already have it? I'm thinking of Crossbones. Sorry.
Look, that's the issue with 10 years of movies. Like you'd be like, didn't we have? Oh no, that was.
I think it was like a Civil War. So it was like a very brief, like, because sometimes we get these villains that show up, and I think a lot of people don't even
Still
recognize
on
them.
contract, by the way.
Who?
I believe he still has like 3 more movies or something like that with Marvel. Because he was in. Was he in Winter Soldier? He's the guy that got his face burned or something, and then he comes back as Crossbones. Or am I thinking in Civil War? Am I thinking? I thought he was a character, then became Crossbones, the person that is Crossbones.
I have no idea.
Marvel, you be making callbacks to the first movie 10 years later. I got a problem with you. But this is also the first movie in Phase 4 that will be coming out. The first thing with May 1st, 2020.
Black Widow is?
Yes. May 1st, 2020. It is the first thing from Phase 4.
This is just a good example of how hard women have to work. She had to literally fucking die before she could get her
movie. Like, yeah, okay.
And it's not like Captain Marvel. Like, she's one of the first. I mean, hell, in the MCU, she's a founding Avenger, and she still had to fucking die before she got a movie. Terrible. Even Hawkeye's getting a goddamn TV show. Anyway, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, when we see like prequels and stuff for movies come out, I'm never excited for those. Like, it's just not my thing. And so, already knowing that she's dead and that this is like early or whatever, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not as excited as I would be if she was still around and had a future.
I will say this: I'm kind of more interested in this than I thought I would be, only because I want to know exactly how is it going to fit. That's why I'm like, what is the what is it about this movie that's going to relate to what's going on in this like whole next phase?
I think it will be like ultimately the after credit scene.
Yeah, that's what I think too. The after credit scenes are probably what's gonna like tie this whole like
or
I
am still making I still have the opinion that Hawkeye saw something when he got the Soul Stone.
You know what? That too, and you know what? This movie is immediately going to be followed by Doctor Strange.
No, is it?
Yeah, because Doctor.
See, that's the issue.
No.
The Eternals is the end of.
Yeah, no, it's Eternals. Okay, let me go back.
Plus the TV shows. Don't forget the.
Yeah, the Hawkeye TV show, and then.
Yeah, I think because November of 2020 is Eternal.
And something's got to tie into this.
Speculation. This is not confirmed. This is not confirmed. People are going based off of Tom Holland being Tom Holland and making a comment that, yeah, this summer and next summer this summer filming and going back to back basically for Spider-Man 2 and 3. So people are speculating summer of next year we'll get Spider-Man 3.
I don't think it's going to come that soon.
I don't either, especially if we haven't gotten any hints whatsoever.
Strix just told us it was confirmed. Like,
No, I don't
like-
put that on me.
I mean, so
Tom
it's definitely
Holland did not confirm anything.
I don't think you can trust anything Tom Holland says because at this point they know that he can't keep a secret, so they're probably just lying to him.
Oh, he would be
I'm
the
sure
best
they-
person to tell shit.
Huh?
Like, just tell Tom Holland like 40 different things.
Yeah, because he's just going to blab. I mean,
I also think he plays into it now, where he'll say something and unintentionally, like he will say something seemingly unintentionally to make people be like, oh, "We got him." And he's like, "Nah, it's a joke. Chill."
yeah, no, he bless his young heart. He just don't know how to shut the fuck up.
But I am interested to see how this fits. I just think if she was still around and had a future in the MCU, I'd be even more interested. Unless like somehow this movie is like, and then like in the middle she makes a clone of herself, and that's the one that went out and died or some stupid shit. Like,
what if the movie comes to the end and we make the realization that it's multiverse, like plucking her from the multiverse, which again starts to lead into Doctor Strange.
Could.
Vision. Like that's one thing. I feel like now it's really hard because amidst everything that's been said, one thing that is true is Marvel has made it so that anybody that dies or is eliminated from the MCU can always come back if they want to for a one-off movie. It's more on the actors to be like, yeah, no, I don't really feel like coming back.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing I wondered after watching the Endgame. What was the implications of putting the Soul Stone back?
No, they have confirmed that putting the Soul Stone back does not bring the person back.
Okay.
The stone only exists because the person gives up their soul. Like it is the whole chicken and the egg thing. In the case of the Soul Stone, the egg cannot exist without the chicken.
Gotcha. All right.
So that moment in time has to happen and has to exist. Because that was the whole conversation that happened in Endgame where Hulk was like, I tried to bring her back. I tried and it didn't work.
you didn't try hard enough, you green bitch. Black Widow. Maybe it'll just be a new Widow. Like some other kid gets introduced and then she'll be the one.
Maybe.
I wasn't reading I read like a couple issues of like a Black Widow run or something, and there was like some kid that I'd never seen before who seemed to be being groomed. So maybe they introduce her.
Oh, like X-23.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was like, I don't want to say she was a sidekick, but she seemed to be like a younger version. I don't remember the relationship because I didn't read that run, but she was a thing that existed.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, if you go through her history, there's been several different. Like, I mean, they're generally a lot of his heroes have several different things. Like, I'm actually on a Wikipedia page right now, and they mentioned there was a clone of her before. So, okay, you might get that.
Haven't we all had a clone before?
That's true. It's just another Tuesday.
Facts.
With that all said and done, they did proceed to list off things they did not talk about. They didn't talk about, but these were confirmed. They did not talk about Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Fantastic Four, or how mutants will be introduced into the MCU.
Yes. So,
but they kind of acknowledged all the rumors on stage at Comic-Con in front of the rest of the world when talking about things that are coming.
yeah, so we will get Dick Reed Richards.
Nah,
Lori.
we're good.
Yes, we need Reed Richards.
With that said, the surprise.
Yeah, I honestly didn't see this coming. You said you saw it coming, Cardiac. I find that hard to believe still.
I don't know exactly what it was going to be, but I mean, like I was saying, and recently in the Avengers comic, they introduced Blade in like a really random forced way. Like he's on the team now, and I was like, there has to be a reason for this. They wouldn't just do that because he's not been talked about almost at all for like the last couple of years leading into this, except like, what was it? I think in like Miles Morales Spider-Man or like Ironheart or something. He showed up one time, and I was like, it's weird that after not acknowledging him for so long, he's suddenly on the Avengers. Because when I see these comics and they do something in the comics, it usually is like right before they're gonna like announce a movie.
They've really fallen into like the cinematic universe and the comic universe paralleling each other to like some degree. One doesn't just randomly do this thing in like a main line of the comics. What's the guy's name? Because I can't pronounce it to save my life.
Mahershala Ali. Who I found out in a separate article when they talked to Kevin Feige about this and all of that. It's like, what made you do a Blade movie? He was like, well, when Mahershala Ali calls you and says he wants to do something,
you do it.
So basically, Mahershala Ali campaigned to do this shit, and Kevin Feige was like, yes, 2-time Oscar-winning, phenomenal actor Mahershala Ali, who can play damn near anything on screen, and is an excellent rapper, by the way, if you don't know this. Like, look up his music. Yes, he is really, really good. Yes, you can be Blade. You can be whatever you want to be, sir.
I would like to say right now, this speaks out to anybody. Please go do your due diligence. Act.
Just hold up. Cardiac, you said you haven't seen Luke Cage, right?
I haven't.
Google Luke Cage Cottonmouth and know that they've picked the perfect person because that man eats up a fucking like screen when he's on camera. Like, seriously. But go ahead, sorry.
I was going to just say, like, it is really cool that we now have multiple people that are like, I put in a lot of hard work and I decided I wanted to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they fucking did it. Like, yeah, Marvel, you're gonna call me. I'm just saying to people out there, if you want to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, work your ass off and call Marvel.
But even that is a good indicator of where the culture is going. Where like that is like the golden standard for fucking actors now. Where fucking what's his name? Keanu Reeves is trying to find his spot in the MCU. It's like everybody just wants to be in the MCU now.
Angelina Jolie is now. Like going all the way back to the beginning of this conversation. They're the movies to be in. Like, if you can get in a Marvel movie nowadays, that is the thing to put on your resume as an actor. Okay.
But not only that, but they've been kind of quote unquote legitimized by some of like previous generations' greatest actors. Fucking Anthony Hopkins is Odin. Anthony Hopkins is one of the best like film and stage actors ever. He played fucking Odin. His wife is fucking Renee Russo. You got what's her name? Annette Bennett playing a minor role in Captain Marvel. Like, she barely was on the screen, but she was happy to do that shit. You know, like, you got all these like people who have huge resumes. Michael Douglas playing Hank Pym, you know, things like that. And what's her name? Playing his wife, Michelle Pfeiffer. Like, yeah, people they're taken seriously by not just people who are fans of the medium or who grew up maybe liking them. They're taken seriously by everybody because everybody thinks they're good films.
Yeah,
and they are. So
it's right.
Endgame and Infinity War, in a lot of ways, I will argue, is the Star Wars of the millennial generation and the Zoomer generation. Like, Marvel has become such a cultural phenomenon that we'll talk about, oh yeah, this is what Marvel's effect looks like 50 years from now and how it all started and what they did to movies. And we're already seeing that. And so everybody wants to be, you know, on the bleeding edge.
Yeah. Like, I could only imagine some of the cameos that we're going to get in these like films that are going to come up. I feel like there's going to be a lot more like big names taking smaller roles. I mean, to your point, like the Blue Marvel thing, they'll probably have someone huge play that role.
Denzel Washington.
I've heard that before. That did watch it.
It's not. It's my thing is like at this point, like I'm surprised Idris Elba isn't in the MCU at this point. I'm surprised. Like there are people that I'm surprised aren't there because
he's Heimdall,
dead. But
I forgot that
he's dead. So, but he can come back. That's fine.
We got the multiverse.
That'd be weird.
I forgot that he was. See that Thor: Dark World? I blame you on that one. I'm gonna keep blaming him first 2 Thor movies for a lot.
I do feel like that was like a wasted opportunity. Like you got Idris Elba and you put it. Not that I'm not trying to disrespect Heimdall or nothing, but
no, but Idris Elba,
you could have put him in a much bigger role than that. But
I mean, how many black people did you have at the time to really do that with? Like, who else was he gonna be Blade?
I'm just thinking if I had to go, Will Smith or
War Machine.
Will Smith 100% feels like if they do Blue Marvel.
Yeah.
Or some random guy we never heard of.
They've done a good job with that too.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, to his credit, I have no fucking clue who Simu Liu is, and probably will never see anything because he's on Canadian TV. So I'll probably never see anything he's ever done in my life unless I'm like that bored and want to look up CBC TV just to find his stuff. But he's probably going to get on screen as fucking Shang-Chi, and we'll be celebrating him like we do Jet Li and all the other kung fu stars.
That shit needs to make a comeback, man. That shit was really hot back in the day. You just don't see many. I know you don't see any movies with like fight scenes and shit, but it's not the same.
No, there's not a lot of huge kung fu epics like they used to be. I feel like this might make people want to bring them back though if it's good.
There's a few indie ones that have been pretty big last few years.
Yeah,
a lot of them are pretty modern feeling. Like they don't feel like
old classic kung fu.
Like there's definitely stuff with good fights. Like The Raid has really good fight choreography, but
what's the other one with Ip Man?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. They have a couple of those that are more recent. That is fair.
Yeah. But still, you don't get a lot. I mean, right now, modern kung fu movies are dominated by Scott Adkins. So,
True. So how dark is Blade going to be allowed to get?
That was the question.
Everybody's making the point that they allowed Deadpool to be rated R. They know what time it is. They're not gonna.
But that was Sony
Blade.
mostly doing that.
Yeah, that was Fox though.
But I think they saw kind of enough of the success to know like you don't not make it R.
But it was easier to allow Deadpool to be R because it wasn't like so under the Disney umbrella. Like I don't think they cared too much. Same thing with Venom, right?
The funny thing is, even going to people my age, like I think enough of us grew up with Blade. We don't expect Blade to be even if it's under Disney. If you know Blade, yo, that club fight scene is iconic.
But honestly, does it have to be R?
Yes. It's like so. I am of the opinion.
I mean, we've seen the violence in Marvel movies without it being like extreme, though. You can have that.
The big thing I would say is I am specifically of the opinion that like X-Men Origins Wolverine would have been a 10 times better movie if they had just made it an R-rated movie. There are certain characters, Blade is up there as a character that I don't even want to say to do them justice, but to do them like in the truest form to character, you need it to be an R-rated movie.
I've never seen that Punisher show, but I assume since people rave about it. No?
They should just play that I forget the name of the rock band, but there's a metal song called that goes "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." I feel like every time he walks on the screen, they should just play that song because god damn the body count in that goddamn show. I think I counted the first episode of season 2 and I lost count after about 15.
Because some of the Marvel movies do have like a violent scene or two, but they're I mean that's it. They're like isolated to like specific scenes, or less like a Blade or a Wolverine or a Punisher need to be violent like all the way throughout.
Yeah,
but I think he can do that. The thing is, they're just not going to show the blood splatter. But I think you're going to see him, especially since he's going after vampires. I mean, as soon as he stabs them, they're going to fucking dissolve anyway with the silver, right?
They need to be bloody messes and then dissolve.
But
I just
it needs to be a bloody mess.
yeah, it's a vampire movie.
I don't think it needs to be like for him killing vampires. It don't really need to be a bloody mess because it wasn't really a bloody mess in the Blade movies. I really don't think.
I'm starting a petition right now for blood.
I think the scenes that are most remembered from the Blade movies. I don't think it has to be like. I'm not wanting. My thing is, it's not. A lot of it isn't just R-rated because I want blood. It's pushing the envelope will not happen if they have a PG-13 movie.
Some things do get kind of hokey because they can't like sometimes they want to like allude to darker shit and not really do it.
Yeah,
and then it comes off hokey.
And my entire thing is like going to the Punisher. Like, let yourselves have one movie. Even market it with the like. We wanted to make an adult superhero film.
I think Deadpool, like himself, did that. He was like, "This is not for kids." Blah blah blah. Like he came out and said it. So like, yeah, I think if you just, I don't think people should need to be told, but it's been a while since we had a Blade movie, so fuck it. Just tell them like, yeah, not for your kids. No, take the kids. They need to learn. Never mind. This is a learning experience. The world is a violent, horrible place, and there's vampires, and they'll bite your neck. Facts.
But don't worry, a black man in a trench coat will stab you through the chest.
He won't let your infection spread.
Like I'm looking at this Blade fight scene, and there's really not other than the blood that they were eating. Okay,
that's
like the fight in itself, the violence of it.
But that, I'm telling you right now, that would not be PG-13 nowadays. Like they
PG-13.
That would not be PG-13 nowadays. I'm not speaking to.
No, it actually would be PG-13 these days.
No,
seriously. I remember seeing the fight. It really is not as bad as like we remember. I think it was just that at the time because we weren't used to seeing that type of stuff. It stood out more. But looking at this now, I'm like, yo, this ain't even like.
But with today's technology, the 2019 equivalent would be horrific.
Yeah, like if you were to do so, but if they were to do it to this level, like reimagine this in the way that it's done now, no, they could do it. They could pull this off. Like there's certain things like I could think of in Blade 2 when he takes the guy's head and put it to the motorcycle wheel. It's like burning up his face. Yeah, you're probably gonna see some shit like that. But I don't think it's that bad.
I'm just thinking to Trinity with the lady with the fangs in her vagina. You know, good old classic shit.
Yeah, you probably ain't gonna have fangs and vaginas.
Gross.
But Blade, it's a thing.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I love Blade. And a lot of people always like made that snarky reaction, like, "Oh, everybody's talking about how Iron Man made superhero movies. You know, showed you how good superhero movies could be." Like, nah, bro, Blade did it a long time ago. But
no, it was the first good superhero movie.
Well, in defense of a lot of those people, I don't think they registered Blade as a superhero or like a Marvel property or anything like that. So
it wasn't really put. It wasn't under Marvel's control. I don't think at that time.
Sure.
And it wasn't pushed, so it wasn't pushed as a Marvel movie because nobody really understood who the fuck Blade was at the time. Like now, yeah. But
yeah, so those people like shitting on everybody for not acknowledging Blade is like that's not fair. Like they didn't know. Even when Blade was like really hot, they didn't know that.
Yeah. I think
now he's coming back.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that guy in anything, but he looks like a good Blade.
Again, you have to see him as Cottonmouth.
He looked like a young Wesley Snipes.
I know somebody I was telling Cardiac. I think first thing that came out on my Twitter timeline was people like, "Oh, why can't it be Wesley Snipes?"
Look.
He looks like Wesley Snipes.
Go look at a picture of Blade and then go look at that dude, and tell me that's not the same fucking person.
I googled that dude after they made that announcement. I was like, put some hair like that high top shit. Yeah, he's pretty much Blade. Like he's already close enough.
He has it. He just doesn't have a high top right now because nobody wears that style.
I don't know.
Well, weird.
When I saw him, he was bald. I don't know if he has hair, but
no, he keeps his hair cut bald or really short. So
yeah,
he keeps it.
I think he should just like put on a black trench coat and like a wig or something, and just show people how Blade he is already. I'm like, yeah.
But if you've ever seen his acting and like the style, like again, I encourage you to look up Cottonmouth stuff. He has that type of Blade swagger as Cottonmouth.
Fucking Blade.
So
get hyped. Wait, when is this dropping? But yeah,
they didn't have no date. They said they were going to bring it to. It's going to be in theater. It's funny because a lot of people are like, "Are they going to make it a movie?" I'm like, they said it was going to be a.
Yeah, I think everybody get hyped, man. I hope it's not too. Well, I don't know how I feel about it. I was gonna say I hope it's not too isolated, but I don't know that I need to see other heroes show up in that movie.
I really don't want other. Like, I think that will make it a PG-13. If it shows up, if other heroes show up, it will be a PG-13 movie. I think if you just let him do his own thing, find a way to tie it into, make a reference to Devil's Kitchen.
You know what I think is going to tie in most to
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. There we go. Couldn't remember it. I was like, there's something.
I was waiting for you to correct that. And I was like, what the fuck?
I couldn't remember. Look. Like, it's not Devil's Kitchen. That's Devil's Kitchen's a TV show. Yeah, that's right.
You know what's
Hell's Kitchen is also a TV show. Never mind.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. I was letting it pass, but you just bring attention to it. No, you know who I think he's going to tie in the most? If there is a cameo, it'll probably be at the end cut scenes. And you know who I think it's going to be?
Who?
Doctor Strange.
Ew.
It fits the magic and occult shit.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like that's how they're going to tie him into that because Doctor Strange is going to be like, yeah, so we talk to you about these people.
What do you mean these people?
And then we find out that Doctor Strange is a racist and pulls out his MAGA hat. And
he's not a racist. He's a universist.
Bleh.
But yeah, I'm glad that they do
multiverses
because this brings me hope that they might go beyond just possibly doing a TV show for Ghost Rider and get him back in the mix with a good, Ghost Rider movie without Nicolas Cage caging it up.
What do you mean? He made that movie great.
Nicolas Cage is the best goddamn actor in Hollywood. And don't let bees tell you any different.
I mean, although if they do bring Ghost Rider into the mix, that's going to trigger the MAGA people again because it's going to be Robbie Reyes.
Wasn't there a comment about Robbie Reyes recently?
The cartoon is supposed to be about Robbie Reyes. The one that they talking about is supposed to be based around Robbie Reyes. So,
they mad.
I mean,
they want to bring Gabriel Luna back to play the role.
I assume they've been mad and they're gonna stay mad. Like, there's a bunch of diversity happening, right? Bunch of characters of color, a bunch of women. Now we've got the first LGBT XYZ element in P.
Hold on, who is the character that's going to be gay? I don't
what do you mean? Which one we have the hero is going to be.
Which one of the
Valkyrie? Valkyrie. It's come out that Valkyrie is going to be looking for a queen.
No, I'm talking about in Eternals. The guy. Who is the guy?
I don't know his name.
Is there a guy?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the guy, the leader of the group, apparently.
Oh, then it's oh my god, what's his name? Oh my god, I'm looking it up.
Fail. How do you not just know the name off the top of your head? What's wrong with you?
I know, as an ardent Eternals fan, I'm disappointed.
I heard you were a consultant on that book.
I'm assuming it's either going to be Icarus, so Richard Madden. I'm assuming it's Richard.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's going to be Icarus. I don't think, because otherwise, technically Ajax is the leader, but I don't think Salma Hayek is that's on Black. It'll be somebody.
Point is, they're gonna get mad anyway. That's why I keep making the joke that Odin's son should die because, like, I remember the reaction in the comics at the time because it's like, you took away Odin's son, fucking Iron Man is in a coma, and you replaced him with that little black girl Iron Man. She didn't have a name at the time. Ironheart now. Bruce Banner got killed and he was replaced by Amadeus Cho. Like, it was like this big group of replacements at the time, and everybody got like really pissed about it.
I don't.
And now they're all gonna show up on screen soon.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the hate, man.
I just wait for Ironheart to come out because that's just gonna set the world on fire.
Bring Chris Evans back, and let me watch him drop the bomb. I just want him to do it. I just want him to do it.
Drop the bomb.
Las Vegas. People be so mad. People be so mad. It'd be so good.
I don't think Chris Evans would do it. I think he's too afraid of hurting his own brand.
No, but come on, this guy gets on Twitter all day and yells.
No,
at people.
Hydra Captain America does some shit. Is really good for making you like he has reasons, but the actions are definitely nothing.
I get it, but I think he'll be like, yo, just calm the fuck down, yo. It's cinema.
Nah, it's not cinema. This is my life. I
needed that to happen, man. He's old now. The perfect time. Turn him back young. He becomes Hydra Cap and nobody knows. That is exactly how it happened in the comics. He was an old dude. He got turned young again. Everybody's like, oh my God, Captain America's back. And then he turned out to be a dick.
You don't know what happened in the time from when he went back to get Peggy.
Hail Hydra.
You know what I mean? That's a lot of time. That's about, 30 years or so, 40, 50, no, longer than that. He went back to the fucking 40s. So, yeah, he had 50 years to act up.
Man, it's gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think we breezed through the things we didn't get much detail on.
Yeah.
D23 is next month.
Yep, August 5th, I think.
So we'll get more information. I believe they already said that some other information will be coming out then as well.
We're gonna get a Kamala Khan movie.
I want it. Give it to me.
I'm sure she'll be introduced. And
I don't know who's gonna play her.
I mean, with all these kids actors all around, you can find someone. And again, Marvel's not above finding a no-name person to play something.
They done made some real good. All the people in Spider-Man Far From Home did a good job.
Yeah, man.
You stands in there. Yeah.
I'm a little bugged that fucking whatever his name is bald, but
Ned? Why are you mad at my man Ned?
I remember when I saw him.
I forget his name off the top of my head and I feel bad. I hate forgetting actors' names.
I keep wanting to call him Genki because I think that's who he's supposed to represent in the comics, but like I don't know what his MCU name is.
It's Ned. It's Ned. That I know.
But yeah, when I saw him in an interview and I realized he was bald, I was like, oh my God, I'm being lied to. He's a fraud. Get him out of here.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I don't know. I can't remember how much money I put on it, but I have a bet with a friend that Zendaya is not going to keep her hair ready for the next Spider-Man movie.
She was asking, I believe, recently whether or not she should re-dye it. So you might be right.
We'll see.
Hey, Micheal is my MJ going forward.
Yeah, again, as I've said many times, I find it hilarious how people are so mad at her when she's not even Mary Jane.
Oh, I just love the fact that she messes with them. It's the best for her to dye her hair red and be like, yo, face it, Tiger. And just drop that as a picture. It's the best. I love it.
I think they could have just called her Mary Jane.
Yeah.
No, I like the tongue-in-cheek thing more because I just like the fact that they're triggered and She's not even ready to just show how.
But MJ,
Right. It's like, you're really showing your ignorance right now.
You're
that
nickname.
fucking triggered, like that you're, yeah.
But the thing is, like, I never understand this from comic book fans in particular. So it's one thing if you're watching a movie based on a book, but like comic book fans, we ought to be used to
different
alternate reality stories, retcons happening every 10 seconds. I mean, there's certain characters whose like origins you can barely tell because it's been retold several times over again. It's like,
where are the Nick Fury fans? They should be outraged.
Nick Fury had fans.
I'm sure he did. I mean, Shield's been around for long enough to where I'm sure people in my age range probably were huge Agents of Shield fans. I mean, they did have comic books before Samuel L. Jackson existed. So.
But I mean, he wasn't replaced.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, kind of replaced. But the white dude,
his whole origin was retcon. So yeah,
was it?
Yeah, no. Nick Fury was not in Desert Storm. Yeah, Nick Fury. This version of Nick Fury is a Desert Storm vet.
My dad, who's born in the 50s, knows Nick Fury is a very different character.
Yeah, he's a white guy who kind of looks like J. Jonah Jameson in a way. But
yeah, that's not actually not wrong.
But it's alternate reality Nick Fury, right?
No, that was the original.
That was the original. This is
I'm saying the black one is an
ultimate. I believe the black
came from the Ultimate universe.
They redid his whole background.
Yeah. Look, Marvel's confused.
Reimagine. They literally like established that this is the Nick Fury. Like Samuel Jackson is the Nick Fury of the regular universe. It ain't an alternate universe.
No.
Yeah, they actually came out with an origin comic book and just established, like, boom, this is Nick Fury. That other guy, I don't know who he is. Shut up. Hush.
I don't like it.
Put on a cloak and then went into space and did some crazy shit. Fair enough.
So, yeah.
I think that's another one. It's like, I don't think enough people knew who Nick Fury was to be that bothered. Like, the Nick Fury I tended to think of was the old white guy with the gray hair, but I was like, I also didn't know enough about him to, care.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about these things where you make these alterations like this. Like, in 10 years' time, we'll probably be some of the last people left alive that will remember, like, the original MJ that fondly. Because a lot of people are going to grow up with Zendaya as their.
I don't think there's a problem with that.
I don't either. But my point is, like, it's time goes on, you'll get used to it. You'll get out. It's all right.
People get caught up in the like, my generation version was better. It's like, no, it wasn't better. It was different.
I think she fits very well for the setting because, like, old school Mary Jane felt kind of, I don't know.
She's annoying. She's a fucking annoying.
She was damsel in distress, like literally.
Like, why he pined after her, I don't know.
I'm not gonna hate because she was a redhead.
So
I don't hate on that.
So dye someone else. Ask somebody if they're into hair dye.
They got red hair.
Right. Like, red hair is not that hard to come by this day of time. She probably
so many people make the wrong decision.
Redhead. Okay,
you need to watch your mouth.
I'm just saying. I bet you the carpet didn't match the drapes.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm just saying, comic book fans in general need to be more accepting of that shit that always happens. And to your point, who you think of as a character just kind of depends on when you grew up and what the context was. I remember, telling coworkers, I grew up with the Justice League cartoons and shit. And for a long time, I did not know that there even was a white Green Lantern. like that when people say Green Lantern, a lot of them mean Hal Jordan. Yeah. He wasn't around when I was very young and watching that shit. So I just didn't know I'd seen him before, but like I knew him vaguely, but I didn't even realize that there was a non-black Green Lantern.
And then also, what is it? Wally West and
Barry Allen.
Yeah. Our generation also had to be acquainted with. I believe it was Wally West. I think we grew up with Barry Allen.
We grew up with Wally.
Wally.
Did we?
Because in the
Barry was first.
yeah,
because
just
Barry was my quote
I'm
unquote.
old. Not my Flash Black. I see.
no, because like in the Justice League cartoons, when he takes off the thing, he has the red hair and everything, and they call him Wally, and it's like, I remember thinking after I started hearing about Barry, I was like, who the fuck is this? Because he just wasn't acknowledged for so long.
That's the thing that I have is like, hey, like if these characters and what they people talk about, oh well, no, it's about what the characters stand for and what they mean. Cool, stand by that.
Yeah, no, like going back to the Flash thing, Barry Allen was the Flash that I mostly knew about until later on as I got older. But even before then, there was another Flash that like, my father and them would be like, yeah, that was the Flash from not the Justice League, because there was no such thing as the Justice League. The Justice League is an evolution of the Justice Society.
Which is even cool because like in modern comics in DC, like they've made that a thing. They've made that a point about the different ones and different meanings and different purposes of all the different like versions of like the Flash, for example.
Yeah.
And people don't get that, like, you don't get into the Spider-Verse and stuff like that without allowing the different versions to exist.
Yeah.
Also, Tom Holland. If you love Tobey Maguire, enjoy Tobey Maguire. If you like Tom Holland, like Tom Holland. If you like Andrew Garfield, you like a supermodel. I don't know why you think he's a high schooler. That's still my biggest problem. He's not a superhero, or he's not a high schooler. You can call him a lot of things.
I think that's why I wish the comics would leave some of them dead for a longer period of time. Like they left Barry alone for long enough for Wally to be established. Yeah. But it's for all the bitching people did during that like Civil War time, when like Iron Man and Thor and all them went away. They were gone for like a year, maybe. Like they were not gone long enough for it to really affect anything important.
And I think that's the thing, right? Is like, I think that's why I like the movies, because the movies are getting people and are a position to get people more acquainted with various things that are occurring. And like the opportunity to see like, hey, okay, MJ is Michelle Jones, Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Who becomes the new high-tech superhero-y? Is that just Tom Holland, or do we have somebody else? Do we have a Ironheart situation, right? It lets people, like, to me, Marvel is in a lot of ways making it so that people will be more willing to check out comics, and in the future have a bigger variety of like how comics look and people and characters look. Like, because like people nowadays just like, oh well, Peter Parker is not the same kind of looking Peter Parker that's always existed. I'm like, he doesn't have to be the same Peter Parker that you grew up with.
He hasn't always been the same Peter Parker in the comics anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But people don't care. People care about their iteration.
Right. They think about when they actually, read the medium, how their version was. It's just like people on my timeline complaining about how they feel like Phase 4 is not that interesting. They don't like the direction they're going with certain characters, or they don't like who they choose to play. People such as Blade and all that. It's like I look at them and I'm like, yeah, you're people mainly close to or around my age group who watched stuff in the 90s or read stuff in the 90s or the 80s or whatever. And you're still stuck on that shit. And you're not open to the idea of new things. Like the thing that excites me about Phase 4 the most is that I'm about to get introduced to a bunch of people that I have either never heard of or rarely have had contact with. Never heard of Shang-Chi, never heard of the Eternals. I've never been a big Doctor Strange person. So now that Doctor Strange is getting a bigger role in things, I think it's cool. I knew Black Panther. Black Panther and Spider-Man are probably the two that relate closer to like me and my knowledge. Just about everybody else that's coming in I wasn't like into the media or heard of them. So I'm cool with that because it's something new. I get to see this expand, and more to the point, it helps do what they've been doing for the last 10 years, which is expand the universe and grow it and make it into a thing that can keep going and persist, which I love. Like, they're not just doing like DC doing reboot after reboot, doing what Sony would do if Sony had their hands on Spider-Man, because you know if they got their hands on Spider-Man, all they're gonna do is just reboot that shit. That's why I hope like Marvel figures out some way to like yank that shit permanently back from them, because all they want to do is reboot it and throw it into the universe with Venom and Morbius and shit that ain't gonna make sense, you know.
Fucking Morbius.
Yeah, I know. But you know, I like the fact that they're doing like these things where they're growing, giving you glimpses of other areas of the universe. They're making you understand like what goes on in that world more, and I'm cool with that. I don't need to see 50 Spider-Man movies. I don't need to see 50 Iron Man movies with Robert Downey Jr. I don't need to see 50 Captain America movies. Bring on the new people. Shit, I want to see more obscure people come into the mix that I don't know about, that I've had conversations with y'all about. Like, yeah, put that shit out there. Don't have to keep being the same thing. What you remember, things change. You don't stay in the time that you grew up in all the time. So why should the things that you liked back then stay in those times? You know,
I grew up loving Peter Parker Spider-Man, and I think it would be really interesting if, you know, say I was to have a kid or whatever, and they grew up, and when they think of Spider-Man, they mean Miles Morales instead of what I would probably mean is in Peter Parker. I think that's fucking neat. Plus, as someone reading the comics, something I get really frustrated by is this natural instinct a lot of them have to like return to the status quo at the end of their runs. It always makes me feel like a hamster on a fucking wheel where I'm just running and not fucking going anywhere. And I would think moviegoers would get more tired of that. Like, you have to move on and do something else fucking eventually, and like introduce new people and let them flourish. You can always bring back the old motherfucker if you want, but leave some room and do something new and interesting.
Yep.
Part of the reason I don't like reading Iron Man right now. Done like every story possible with this motherfucker. It's just not that interesting.
yeah. I don't know. I'm happy with what they did. Are you guys happy with what they've announced so far?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked to see some X-Men stuff, but they told me, you know, it's coming later, so I'll wait. As long as it comes, you know, that's all I want.
I think people need to remember with the X-Men stuff and all the other things is that you're asking for an immediate turnaround on something that they literally just got their hands on months ago. So you got to kind of be a little bit patient with that new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's not like they bought it in 2017 and they just are biding their time, like twiddling their fingers. Like, they just completed the sell. What was it? March?
So give them a week. Do it.
Yeah, you got a week.
The movies only last an hour and a half or so. Like, how long do you need, bro?
Yeah, no. They'll be fine.
Can you imagine what the world would look like if DC was actually succeeding?
I would love it because I grew up as a DC fan first, and then grew to love Marvel.
I mean, it's just that we talk about like oversaturation of the market or whatever. This is just Marvel, pretty much. Like, if DC was on that same scale,
I would so be happy.
Holy shit.
I would so be happy. Because then, like, I can get a world where I don't have to have Superman be the focus all the time.
They'd all just be a bunch of different Superman movies. Or you just come in and save the day at the end of all of them.
No, like, give me like other shit that I could like see. Like, give me Titans. Yeah,
we have Titans.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, on live action cinema, not just that.
We do have live. Oh, well, not cinema.
No, I know what you're talking about. Give me like Titans. No.
Say, but no, I think there's some, and they've got a couple characters they could do shit with too. Like I think, what was it Justice League versus the Fatal Five or whatever? I think that's the first time they really did Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern in an animated form. I'm like, yeah, she's dope. That whole anxiety she has to deal with, that like crippling mental stuff she has to go through.
That's the thing. They got like stuff within things, like the whole Green Lantern core. Like you could do a hell of a lot with that, but they fucked it up.
We'll just get 5 Damian Wayne movies.
Probably.
We would definitely get that. Like once people see him and they're like, "Oh, he's like a little Batman, but he's even more of a dick, and he kills people."
Yeah, they should have just made Ben Affleck Damian Wayne. But yeah.
Shit.
Is there anything else from San Diego Comic-Con? Because I feel like Marvel just basically dominated everything. I don't really think, even the stuff that I said to you guys, I looked at it, it's like most of this wasn't even from. They're like getting another season of Rick and Morty. Yay. I'm not a huge Rick and Morty fan, sorry.
I like it, but I feel like sometimes when I have to wait too long for another season, like my hype just goes away. But there's a couple anime where like I'm just so hyped for their next season, and then they wait like 2 fucking years or something, like 2 or 3 years.
The Adult Swim stuff takes way too long to fucking come out.
Yeah, I can't maintain my hype this long. Like you got to come within like maybe the next few quarters, if nothing more than like a year. It should take 2
It's not even the annual. That's the problem. It's like, okay, so season 1 came out 2017, season 2 2019, season 3 will be 2022. Like, I don't like, okay, y'all stop. But they were trailers. It Chapter 2. I didn't watch it because I'm a bitch. I still haven't seen it. I'm sure that'll be good. Top Gun Maverick was there. Like, I still can't believe they're doing this movie. Have you seen Top Gun, Strix?
No.
And you haven't seen it either. Cardiac, right? Yeah, it's way before your time. In fact, I feel like it's so before your time. Your time hadn't even started, to be quite honest. Like, when did the first Top Gun come out? Jesus Christ!
Like, it's a popular enough thing in the culture that I'm aware of it, but I never sat down and watched it.
That movie came out in 1986, y'all.
Goddamn.
Right. That's 33 years later, and Tom Cruise still looks the fucking same. By the way,
you got the right bathwater.
Like that Scientology, like fucking like magic is working on him. Like seriously,
for real. I said you guys believe in the wrong God. I think we all do. But
yeah.
Tom Cruise,
like they apparently, you know, that shit is the best.
Yeah,
Terminator Dark Fate. Don't really care about another Terminator.
What?
Like, what's the name is back in there?
Hating ass motherfucker.
Whatever. The Cats trailer. Has either of you seen the Cats trailer?
It's terrifying.
Yeah, that's the creepiest shit in the world.
It is actually nightmare fuel.
It's a rapist cat. I swear to God.
That's all nightmare fuel. There's not a singular good thing in that trailer that does not just terrify my entire soul.
And like the star power this movie has, it's just weird.
Yep. I always wanted Taylor Swift right next to Gandalf and fucking Idris Elba.
Like you got M as a cat.
Gross. I was talking to Blak about this when I first saw the trailer, and I was like, there are some movies that they do that I just don't even understand why they want to do them.
I mean, Cats is a classic by some people's standards.
Even if it was, like, whatever, go up. I don't know. I'm also the same guy that's not excited about Disney remakes, so to be fair.
Yeah. His Dark Materials, I have no idea what that is. Oh, it's the sequel to the Golden Compass? They actually doing this?
Yeah, no, that's the name of the series. That's the name of the series. It should be The Subtle Blade is the second one, I believe.
Okay, so I thought that shit was dead. So it's gonna be a series.
They were making a Netflix, or am I thinking of a different thing? Or a
Yeah, it
HBO
looks like
show?
the HBO BBC.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out. No, it's a remake. Specifically
So
that
they're gonna
movie.
actually start with the Golden Compass and then go
Yes.
through.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember because when Game of Thrones was ending, this was one of the things that had fallen to my like, oh, that might be a cool watch to replace my desire for fantasy shit.
Yeah. Jay Silent Bob reboot. Boo. Kevin Smith, give it up.
Y'all see Harley Quinn flossing?
Yeah, I saw they're doing a Harley Quinn cartoon. They're also doing another Batman one.
But she's flossing. That's what's important.
I wasn't into it, and I know it's probably childish, but I think it was largely because of the voice. Like, it just didn't have that classic Harley Quinn voice that we're just so used to hearing.
Yeah.
And it was weird because, like, throughout, like, different cartoons and movies and anything she showed up and she's had, like, that kind of voice that, like, Tara Strong or whoever did. So it's, but she was, like, talking like a normal person, like, ew, get it away from me.
Yeah, like, you're crazy. You're not supposed to sound like that. Creep Show. Why are they doing another Creep Show?
Plus, I just get a little cynical because, like, the second she did all right in Suicide Squad, I was like, all right, they're gonna like flood us with Harley Quinn because I think soon after they announced like Birds of Prey or some shit like that.
Yeah,
and now we're getting the cartoon.
Okay, so I'm still confused about the Birds of Prey thing because is this a separate movie from that other Harley Quinn movie?
No.
No. So it's Birds of Prey, the something of Harley Quinn.
Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn's Birds of Prey. What's the name of the fucking movie? DC.
Yeah, it's something long.
Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
That's too long. That's too long.
That's what literally if you look at the poster, it literally is Birds of Prey in giant letters, and then in a pink handwritten font, they write all the rest of the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Yeah, no. Moving on.
To be fair, I like Harley Quinn. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do too, but fuck this shit. They're going nuts with that. They're gonna fuck that character up for me because they're just oversight. Like, I get why people like Harley Quinn, but I think like some of it is over exaggerated, especially their relationship, her and Joker's relationship. People overhype that shit.
It's healthy as fuck. What do you mean?
It's the most toxic thing in the fucking world.
That's the most healthy looking relationship.
I assume that's what the emancipation part means. But even that's the problem. It's like, then just do that movie. Like, why pretend it's a Birds of Prey movie?
Yeah, like
it's gonna be a Harley Quinn movie.
They're just gonna be just sitting there watching her, like, what they're sitting in a circle as she talks over her issues with Mr. J. Okay. Did you see the Witcher trailer?
Yes.
At me.
With fucking Superman as Geralt.
It's very meh. Like, I'm not.
Like, why does he have his beard?
I don't know. I wanted to give you a reason, but no.
Let's see, Walking Dead trailer. Who cares? That show should have been off TV like 5 years ago. Walking Dead movie too.
That's how you really feel.
No, if you've ever watched Walking Dead, you would have been like season 5 should have been it. If not 4.
A lot of shows have that problem. They just go too long. Like
The Watchmen. They showed a new trailer for that. I really want to see that.
I want to watch that as well. That's HBO, right?
Yeah, it's on HBO.
I have negative feelings toward it.
Why?
Not that show. Just I was talking to somebody the other day about Doomsday Clock that's running. That's like a Watchmen story, and it's like it's just taking so fucking long that it's like souring me toward the very IP. Because they've been delaying it like weeks and weeks to the point. Like it must be like a year behind schedule at this point. It's fucking ridiculous. And it's only a 12-issue series. So now, like when I think of Watchmen, I just think of that story that just doesn't fucking finish.
It's funny.
I hope that shit is great. I'll definitely watch it because I loved the movie. But yeah,
I know you should be excited about this. Get to see Blue Man Dick again. He's gonna be in it.
That's what we all want.
Dicks.
Free hanging blue dick.
Yeah,
Dicks.
we all love. They got a Star Trek Picard movie. I don't know why.
Because Picard is beloved. So
Do
we
we
should do that.
really need a movie just about Picard? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's the same thing with our equipment, right? We pick out the ones that's most beloved, and then we just give them their own shit. That's why the Minions or whatever got their own movie after Despicable Me.
I mean, yeah.
Wait,
Can we not like, this is what scares me, all right? This is what scares me. In a world where Minions get it, if episode 1 released today, Jar Jar Binks would get his own movie. I need us to really think about the precedent that we're setting by giving the sidekick movies.
I think it only works when the sidekick is beloved.
The Minions are not much better than Jar Jar Binks.
I don't dislike Jar Jar Binks. I know that's controversial.
When was the last time you watched episode 1?
It's been a while, admittedly.
Go back and watch episode 1. I watched Spider-Verse. You watch that. Fair trade.
Right. Bet. I just remember him as like a relatively background character who's like, I didn't like him, but he just wasn't there enough to bother.
He really wasn't background.
That was the entire issue. If he was just a background one-off joke character, I'd be good.
All right, bet. I'll watch it. I'll remind myself.
I'm gonna laugh next time we talk. You gonna come to me and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you tell me to watch that?"
Maybe it was just so bad that it's a repressed memory. Like I just don't remember him being that central. So like it just doesn't bother me. I remember Qui-Gon Jinn and all those motherfuckers.
He kind of had a huge hand in like where they ended up at in the whole thing, and yeah, he was like bad comic relief.
I'll refresh my memory.
It's because you keep saying like if I got a Jar Jar Binks movie, that'd be the one time I'd be on petition.com. Like really be feeling like, yo, fire whoever's idea this was. Remove the movie. This is a crime against humanity.
What if you do it, but he's a villain, right? Like
please
feed
don't. All right.
Feed into the hate.
Me and Blak had an entire conversation about this at one point because in the new Star Wars movies, Emperor Snoke, people once again went to the theory that exists that really Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord and is the person that is.
Yeah,
I don't want to know.
Embrace it. Just do it.
It's a me, haha, Jar Jar.
And then his voice gets like really deep at the end. Like you were just playing the fool card. It would be like the reverse of the Mandarin situation.
It wasn't just him though; it was his whole race because you realize that this is a race of these things. Oh my god!
And here goes Blak suggesting genocide. Like it's no big deal.
If they would have killed off his entire race, it would have fit because that's what the Empire did back then.
Here's the thing.
Blow the planet up.
Like here's the thing. Even his own race hated him.
Yeah, I know. He was the worst of them. That's kind of bad. Like, you're the worst of them. Wow. Jesus.
Let's call it what it is. An incredibly bad and unfunny Jamaican stereotype.
Yeah.
A race in Star Wars. And they choose to make the comic relief hated amongst his peers.
All right,
and even worse.
So I'm going to use a term here, and apologies for the language, but he kind of makes you ask the question, what exactly is worse than a house nigga?
Jesus Christ.
I like how Cardiac's just sitting here like, the fuck are you? Y'all two are going really, really hard. You do not remember Jar Jar. Like, keep in mind, when I first saw episode 1, it would have been in theaters and I would have been 6. He was annoying then and bad to me as a 6-year-old.
Like I said, I'll rewatch it. I just don't remember being this bothered by that motherfucker.
It's bothered, like, even the social missteps beside, it's just not a good character at all. Like, it's over the top, ridiculous comic relief thrown into a movie that never has needed it, doesn't need it, and didn't fit.
I just remember thinking of how badass I thought Darth Maul was, and that's about it. Like I was just too distracted by other aspects.
But no, there was a lot of things in that movie that was just like, yeah, this, and the fact that he says that he made this for kids, it's like, this is what you want kids to use as, like, you know, this is what you're using as a marketing tool towards kids, really? Like, this is supposed to be the kid conscious Star Wars movie, and yet you're doing this? All right. I'm not saying anything about George Lucas because
he was a big part of why those movies are bad.
No, I'm just saying, not as far as like his not trying to like throw out the idea that he's racist or anything, or he does, like, you know, he's not socially conscious. Because I mean, you ever seen the man's family? He's not that. I just think that he just did a dumb character. Like whichever one of his kids said that would be cool, he needs to tell that child, like, look,
you're fired.
based on the new trilogy, I think that was purely George Lucas's directing and decision.
Well, no, part of it, but remember, he specifically said when he wrote the script, he wrote it for his kids, and he kind of consulted with his kids who were all.
You know who also did stuff like that? What's the man that made Spy Kids and Shark Boy and Lava Girl and made the movies in his garage? At least they were tolerable.
Well,
they were entertaining as kids.
That's the thing. Apparently, his kids got more goddamn sense than George Lucas.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl was the shit. What do you mean?
No, I'm saying his kids have.
Yeah. I will watch his kids' ideas and dreams.
I, as an adult, will watch my kids now.
It was creative. It was imaginative. It was fun.
Yeah.
Jar Jar is hell.
Yeah.
Misa. Misa Jar Jar. What's wrong, Annie? We gotta go way down.
You just made my, like, I think I got an ulcer just hearing that.
Dog, it's his whoever. I give credit to the person that made that voice, because like if the person was like, yo, we need him to be comic relief but kind of annoying, like that friend you want to backhand.
This way, after the movie came out and the character got backlash, that guy actually went into a spiral of depression, and he's just getting his life back together from taking that role.
I am one person that always says, like, I don't hate the artist. I give him credit for making like legitimately, he made a voice that is the epitome of like, I want to backhand you. And nothing again. I hope it works out.
For wrestling, I would be fine with it because he would be perfect heel.
But
Vince wouldn't book him.
That character.
Yeah, Vince would book him as a face. Oh my god, yeah. Yo, remember Kofi Kingston's initial run? That is Jar Jar.
You hear them shout that?
Yes.
This is when Cardiac's like, oh, I love that run. That run was dope.
It was Jamaicans getting representation. What do you?
Oh god, I don't even need to know the context of the nope.
No, you need to know this context. Kofi Kingston.
I know who Kofi is.
Guyanese Kofi Kingston, by the way. He's from Ghana.
Wait, hold up.
He's from Ghana. He's from Ghana.
Wait. Back to Cardiac. Jamaican representation. All right, fast forward.
Let him continue.
Was brought into the WWE and given the character Kofi Kingston. He was labeled from Kingston, Jamaica.
Sean Kingston wants his royalties.
He wore the colors of the Jamaican flag as his outfit, and he came out to reggae music.
Cool Runnings is less stereotypical.
And he used to talk like them in Cool Runnings when he came out as well. Even though if you hear Kofi Kingston talk, he speaks perfect English with no accent. But they had him come out with the booyaka shit.
He was a part. Is he one? Was he part of New Day?
He is part of New Day. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's where I know the name
This
from.
is before New Day.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. His evolution is great because now we love Kofi Kingston. We like this Kofi Kingston, but his whole background was that before eventually he was able to get from under that. He's come a long way.
I love the way they let him drop the fake accent during that like Survivor Series thing where he's like talking in the ring without the accent, and Triple H was like, "Weren't you Jamaican?"
Yeah, and they got to the point where even they had to point out the fact that this was fucking ridiculous.
Because I think somebody in an interview or something asked him, and then it got to be like too much of a big deal, and they just fucking dropped it.
Yeah,
people were getting offended.
I would also like to clarify, it is hot enough that the fans in my PC turned on, because I thought somebody turned on a fan in my room.
Oh, wow.
And it is so bad.
Yeah, it's heat is crazy. All right. I think we've covered everything that we need to cover.
So we have now covered the biggest secret that we just dropped on y'all. Kofi Kingston will be playing Jar Jar Binks in the upcoming Avengers movie that is slated to come out summer of next year.
I'm hyped for it.
I think if if Disney ever put an R-rated moment in a Star Wars movie, it would be the death of.
100%.
They would literally throw him through the exhaust of a fucking TIE fighter or something. Let him get grinded up.
Like, why do you have such
AT&T step on him?
I'm somebody that I don't think episode 1 is as bad as people make it out to be, except for Jar Jar. Jar Jar is the one. There is no redeeming quality to Jar Jar.
Yeah.
I like how he.
You know what? So, I say we do another podcast. I'll discuss the details about it anyway because I wanted to talk to you guys about this. But we do another podcast with Cardiac here after he watches Phantom Menace.
Oh, 100%.
And you give us your review of Phantom Menace.
I went to YouTube to get a quick reminder. Just like the first few suggestions, so negative. It starring Jar Jar Binks. Fucking Jar Jar Binks evil moments. Han Solo versus what the fuck? And then all these Sith Lord videos about Jar Jar.
Doug, it was a full-on theory because people were like, "No, there's no way you make a character that bad without it intentionally being." I'm like, y'all are giving way too much credit here. No.
If I was them, I would have just leaned into it after that became a thing. Of like, yeah, why not?
No, he was completely wiped out of the second movie. You never saw him. You didn't see him.
You see him occasionally in the first 3 movies, but you know where.
No, he wasn't in the second movie at all.
He was in the third one then.
Yeah, he came in the third movie and he
briefly
was there for one part. And he was there to shuck and jive in that part too, because he was like, okay, massa, I'll do what you say in that too, when you think about it. He is the cause of the fucking goddamn fall of the Senate.
Yeah.
Think about that.
All right.
I just I'm down for that. Let's have a thing where we talk about what happens when Cardiac sees episode 1. There's some I'm gonna see if Cardiac. You've seen episode 1, right?
Yeah.
The fight at the end of episode 1 is still fucking amazing. That is
Qui-Gon and
Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul is still an amazing fight. Still one of the top 5 in all of Star Wars.
Maybe that's why I don't remember it, because when I think of episode 1, that fight is pretty much mostly
music.
what I think about.
That's all you need to remember, because you don't want to remember anything else.
Oh yeah,
I vaguely remember Anakin being a dirty child on a dirt planet, and then we had a fight. And then I don't really remember anything in the middle.
Being completely frank, I feel like the kid that played Anakin was just given the credit of hey, it's a kid actor. They're doing the best they can, and they're playing a kid. That's what makes Jar Jar so much worse. It's it's not even hey, this is my kid sidekick. It's no. I hope that the actor that played him though is doing well.
Yeah, I've read an article about him recently. He's doing better now.
That's good.
Yeah, he went through hell, and I feel bad for him because it's like it's not your fault that you were given this role.
Yeah, stop doing that to people.
I'm sure in hindsight he wished he never took the role, but it was like I think it was his first big opportunity to be in something of that scale, and so most people aren't going to be like, "Nah, bro, I'm good." They're going to like, "Well, maybe this will be a breakout thing for me," and it ended up pretty much destroying his entire career. So, damn shame.
I don't see it. I wanted to see if anything like DC wise was coming up. Just a reminder that Wonder Woman is coming out in June, and then I'm very interested in Joker. That's about it.
Yeah, there's nothing there. That's why they ran in hit during SDCC.
Even if they had shit, they should still not try to be on the same night. Like they should leave some space between Marvel announcements and kind of like get their own buzz.
They could have went the day before.
You have your own platform. Hold like a special conference on it and let people have free access to the platform that day. That way you both generate hype for your new, like when you drop Titan or when you drop Young Justice Season 4. Hey, we're going to have a conference. And after you watch the main conference, you can watch the first 2 episodes of Young Justice for free on DC, whatever their platform is.
Yeah.
That's a free idea, DC. Don't even worry about paying me. In fact, don't enter my DMs at all.
I don't think it helps. I mean, I think Marvel is so mainstream now that they make a huge public social splash, and DC can't do that because they just don't have enough shit to announce. So they may as well try to like find a big quiet moment. I think Black's idea was fine. Just do it right before Marvel, like when it's kind of because after Spider-Man we didn't get much. It's been quiet from them for the most part. So they should have tried to sneak it in before Marvel. I think Black's idea was probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Because now we're going to be drowning in Marvel talk for a long time.
Yeah, like Marvel, Elizabeth Warren, the whole thing. They didn't just come with an idea. They gave like details. They had plans. They got dates.
Originally, they were like, "Oh, we'll see Phase 4 at San Diego Comic-Con." Everybody's like, "They're not going to release all of Phase 4."
No.
If this is not all of Phase 4 and they release 10 new properties,
yeah,
they own the next decade. So I mean, we had the same kind of conversation when they dropped Shazam.
But it's the next 2 years. It's the next decade.
But
they're
gonna give us next decade.
I don't think they know though. I don't think that people at DC really know what they want to do. Do they just want to stick with TV shows? Do they want to push more movies? I don't think they know until they're quiet.
And I think Marvel just owns them because we had the same talk when Shazam dropped. I was like, there's no good time to drop Shazam because Marvel just kind of owns the calendar.
But you dropped the movie and it got a little bit of buzz for how funny and how solid of a movie it was. So.
As much as I don't give a shit about that kid as a character, I heard it did okay. And I liked Aquaman, surprisingly. So I was like, I think to your point, I think they should just keep going with that. Like, make some quality shit, earn their reputation back over time because you're not going to do it overnight. You just don't have enough.
All right, so DC, what we're saying is give us another Superman and then a Batman origin story. That's what everybody wants. There's a Superman and Batman origin story. There's nothing quite like it.
Yep. Just keep doing the cycle over and over again.
That's the best part about Spider-Man, by the way. With Homecoming, they didn't do the whole origin story thing. They were just kind of like...
I was so glad how they introduced him. It was like, how many times do you need to hear the story of fucking what's his name? And that's what I appreciate about them is that for the most part, with the more well-known characters, they're not giving you that because it's like, yo, they're the ones that even non-comic people know the story of. Why the fuck do we need to tell you about this again?
I mean, in fairness, DC did that with Batman. They didn't give us an origin for this current. Well, I say this, the one they did not give us an origin Batman story.
They also threw it in a movie that gave us the origin of 8 storylines all at once.
Fair.
Right, that was the problem with that.
That's still my issue. Like, there are good things about Batman versus Superman. It's just lost in the
6 other stories they did at the same time.
Yeah, it's like too much, right? Like, you tried to do way too much shit in one movie. It's like if somebody's like, hey, write this thing, and you write about 400 different topics all in one paragraph, and it's like, okay, so strip like 99% of that away and you'll be good. If it was just Batman versus Superman, if it was just the death of Superman,
I mean, like I've said, that like you look at DC's classic stories. There's like 4 of them in that movie. There's the death of Superman. There's Dark Knight Returns, where that fight is kind of based off of, and then you have Wonder Woman added to the mix. It's like,
I'm still of the opinion that movie should have just been Death of Superman. Like, there, you introduce the other heroes as Doomsday tears across the countryside, just like they did in the original comic. Like, you bring in the Wonder Woman and the Batman and the different people trying to stop it, and Metropolis is ground zero, and we see Superman like step up and end up dying, and it works as a much better movie than a different plot line every half an hour to 45 minutes.
Here's what we don't talk about. First of all, I know we mentioned it a few times, but watch Young Justice if you guys haven't watched it, people. It is really fucking solid. I love that show. But DC does really well with its animated movies, and it has for like the last 5-6 years or so. Like all its Batman movies, like Justice League War, Throne of Atlantis, they did Justice League Dark. They actually recently did Death of Superman and then Reign of Superman, and both of them are solid movies.
I mean, I think that's the thing that people don't talk about is like DC does good animated movies. They have for a while. It's just
they just did Hush, and I think they announced they're doing Superman Red Sun. Like,
yes, they are. That was one of the things at Comic-Con. Because that caught my attention 100%.
I think it's a shame because I think a lot of people still don't take the idea of animated movies seriously, but those movies are like a lot of the ones like Justice League versus Teen Titans. A lot of them are really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like I show people scenes from those movies and they're like, their reaction is always, why didn't DC do this in the actual live action movies? I don't know what to tell them, but so for all the talk about Marvel, I'd say something interesting for people to do is go check out like their animated movies they've done like the last 5 years. Even their Suicide Squad movies are really good too. Like, check that shit out. Don't sleep on DC's animated shit just because their live action shit is garbage.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up. So,
sure,
you will watch Phantom Menace. I feel like I should watch it too, just to like take notes. Only because I want to note the parts where I know he's going to be like, okay, no, oh God, no. Like, just see what your reaction is going to be into those moments. I'm feeling you're going to react quite differently than you did when you were younger. Very much so.
I would be very relaxed, man. And then I'm also going to watch all the Disney remakes and be like, those are great too. I'm just a positive person.
All right, we'll see. I can't wait. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. And thank you, everybody, for watching, listening. We'll be back with another fun-filled episode. Yay, Phantom Menace. It's going to be great. All right, everybody. Peace.
Peace.